A very good afternoon to you. I'm George Wedlake. Welcome to Saturday Sports. So the cold weather then has already seen us postpone a number of local games. So we've lost Crawley Town, we've lost Woking, Eastbourne Borough and Farnborough as well. But still plenty of action going on. 2 games in the National League. Aldershot Town continuing their playoff push away to Kidderminster Harriers. Manager of Kidderminster Harriers, Phil Brown, his first game in charge. So we'll see how that one goes. Dorking Wanderers, they're in a battle for safety at the foot of the table, aren't they, in the National League? They're welcoming Gateshead this afternoon, and in the National League South, we'll keep you updated with Worthing at Tonbridge Angels as well.
BBC Radio Surrey.
All right, yeah, probably I'll come to you. You can make the point.
Okay, we're going to cross live right now to Rob Worrell and Alan Baldwin at Agborough. Hi, Rob, are you there?
Yes, here, George, and hopefully our listeners online and on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey can hear us loud and clear, as well as I think a bit of Oasis in the background. And we await the first game in charge of Kidderminster Harriers for Phil Brown, who of course has managed at the top level of English football. And of course we await to see what sort of shape Aldershot Town are in after a bit of a bruising couple of weeks where they were dumped unceremoniously out of the FA Cup by West Brom and more so by Bishop Stortford in the FA Trophy. Back to the bread and butter, Alan Baldwin alongside me, of the National League, where they could point to the fact that they're unbeaten in 2, having drawn and beaten Woking, 4 points out of 6 over the festive period. And I would imagine that's a lot of what's been in their minds this week, clearing their minds, resetting and going again.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to have seen us progress in the trophy. I think everybody would. And Tommy Winterton fielded a strong side, so it was disappointing to lose in the manner that we did. But you're right, this is the bread and butter. We need to reset and kick on and see if we can get in the playoffs at the end of the season. And today is a crucial game for that matter, because a new manager syndrome, you know, there's going to be a bit of a buzz about Kidderminster for a while, and well, hopefully we won't be the victims of that.
That's it, there's a healthy number of Shots fans, so Al and I are sat pretty near on halfway inside the right half of the pitch, or looking across the right half of the pitch, not inside it, honestly. I think those days are definitely over for me.
Yeah, a few years ago.
Even on Monday or week on Monday, whenever it is Shots for a day, I'm afraid that playing once or twice a year doesn't work with me anymore. The hamstrings pop, the calves go. But yeah, looking across to our right behind the goal, covered terracing, approximately half of the width of it, a good couple of hundred Shots fans who of course won't have given up after a couple of poor results.
No, hopefully they look back to what we were earlier in the season, that positive, that quick transition from defence to attack, which we lacked last week. Let's be honest, there was no energy in the middle of the park, I don't think. That's my view, and I'm sticking with it.
All right, I mentioned a couple of times previously, if you joined us early, that there are only 4 games left in the National League, and one of them's here. One of them is at Dorking against Gateshead, and we'll be getting regular updates from that. Excuse me, listeners. But meanwhile, Aldershot Town come out onto the pitch in their yellow away strip, right the way down. Yellow shirts, yellow shorts, yellow socks, and Kidderminster in their home kit of predominantly red shirts with white shoulders and white trim. And the Shots were led out today by Cian Harris, captain again, with O'Keefe on the bench, following a difficult game last week at Bishop Stortford, not just for him but for many others. And Max Mullins back in the side today. He's waited a long time for another opportunity. We think that he'll start in the right-sided centre-back berth, but Harries may go there and Mullins may be through the middle. We'll have to wait and see. Certainly when he played earlier in the season, Al, Mullins played central of the 3, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Harries favours his left foot, so I would expect him to be the centre, and he likes to pick the ball up from the goalkeeper and bring it out, so I would expect Mullins to be on the right hand side, but we'll wait and see.
The full Aldershot Town lineup then includes 4 changes from last week's FA Trophy defeat at Bishop Stortford. There we go, that's it. We're drawing a line now, Al. We're not talking about it anymore.
No, forget that.
It didn't happen now, listeners, from this point on, okay? But the 4 changes are as follows. In goal, Jasper Sheikh, the 19-year-old. He's been with the Shots all season. Played a little bit in pre-season, but he gets his chance today. We're told that it is injury related, that Van Stappershoef has been playing with a little bit of a knock of late, and he hasn't been named in the squad today. So Jasper Sheikh in goal, Harfield, Harries and Mullins your back 3. Ollie Scott and Glover your wing backs. We think Scott on the left and Glover on the right. Frost and Widrington in the centre of midfield. And then for the first time in 3 or 4 games, Josh Stokes playing behind Tolaj and Barham, which has been the most prolific trio up top for the Shots this season. Both sides locked in huddles at the moment, as our referee Stephen Copeland will call Aldershot to take the kick-off. So in all yellow, kicking away from their supporters in the first half, and the Phil Brown tenure here at Agborough commences in the next few seconds. I'll run through the Kidderminster side now. Christian Dibble in goal, of course we knew him at Wrexham for many years. Back 4 we think left to right, Caleb Richards, Matt Preston, Alex Penny and Rhys McNally. And then Shane Byrne and Zach Brown, your holding midfielders, with Jack Lambert a little bit more advanced centrally. And Ashley Hemmings is definitely one to watch on the right-hand side. Sam Bellis coming in on loan from Stoke as a forward. And then Amari Morgan-Smith down the middle. And we've called that right. It is Ashley Hemmings on the right, Amari Morgan-Smith down the middle, and Sam Bellis kicking off life at Agborough in the left-sided attacking position, as Frost cuts out a forward ball, but then Lambert nicks it and does really, really well actually, and keeps possession, and then tries an extravagant turn which Frost reads, pokes it into touch, and it will be a throw into Kidderminster in the left back position, some 20 yards inside their own half. And a healthy crowd here at Agborough this afternoon, not just the Shots fans in attendance, plenty of noise from the home supporters as well. Yeah,
and Max Mullins is in fact on the right hand side of the back 3 as we predicted. Yeah. So let's see if he can make an impact in his first start for a long time. Lovely touch inside from Tolaj to Stokes, sends it out to the left side to Barham, who fluffs his touch, but he manages to chase it, keep it, and then it's prodded into touch by the number 6 Rhys McNally for Kidderminster Harriers. Keep an eye on that centre back right back situation with Penny and McNally as well for us, Alan. We'll sort out which one's playing where. The throw-in's taken. Harfield comes back to Harries, steps through it now, clips a little up and under. Stokes starts to chase, realises it's got too much pace on it. It disappears behind the goal away to our left, and we are in the 2nd minute, and it's Kidderminster Harriers 0, Aldershot Town 0. Alan Baldwin. Yeah, I was going to say earlier, the pitch looks in good condition, but at this time of year there's always those little bubbles which just flummox some players, and that's what happened to Barham there. It just ran over his foot. I'd forgotten coming here today that we're at the top of a bit of a hill here, but it is very flat when you get up here, isn't it? It is, yeah. Goal kick from Kidderminster Harries is taken, flicked on by Morgan Smith, and Harries does really well battling against the number 19 Sam Bellis on debut. Shots come forward, Barham and Glover don't quite get their telepathy going there, and Barham ends up putting it straight into touch. Throw-in taken on halfway by Kidderminster. Zach Brown turns it back, and Barham presses and nearly takes the ball off of Matt Preston. Rhys McNally, the number 6 who can play centre-back, is playing at right-back as predicted by one of us, and Alex Penny at centre-back. Those two can both play in the other positions. Here's Zach Brown in possession, finding Hemmings. He's the big danger for me, and he's in really, really good form. He's going up against Ollie Scott now. Scott does well, slides in, puts it behind for the corner. Torrid time last week, and of course at West Brom, Ollie Scott. And he's signed that contract now to the end of the season, but he's having to earn his place in the side week in, week out. Corner then, it's going to be taken by that man Hemmings. One of his features, he can literally go with either foot. He's going to take this corner left-footed now. In it comes, Glover's up, heads away.
And heavy touch, which means Byron might get onto it, but Zach Brown recovers well. And he finds Hemmings on the right-hand side. Up against Tolaj, he's got away from him to the edge of the area. And then he falls over the ball, Hemmings. And that sums him up all over, really. Oh, Tolaj rides the challenger Brown, goes forward. Header into a dangerous area, hooked over his head by the number 3, Caleb Richards. And Zach Brown's being challenged by Widrington, who gets his foot in and wins it. But unfairly, according to the referee, Stephen Copeland, who gives Kidderminster a free kick 10 yards inside their own half. Bit of a, I thought it was a fair prod from Widrington to get the ball there, but maybe he caught a little bit of the man as well.
I didn't see much in that.
So we're in the 5th minute now. Both sets of fans nice and lively here. Kidderminster desperate to get a bit of momentum going under new management and starting to score goals and pick up the points they'll need if they're going to survive this season. Their first back at National League level. Here's a free kick taken forward. Morgan Smith wins the header inside. First to react is number 11, Lambert. He spins one way then the other, goes back to Hemmings. Certainly a lively start from the home side. Ball into the area is cut out. Brown feeds Lambert. Lambert trying to get it back onto his left foot. He does. Gets a cross in, headed back inside. And the first bit of action for young Jasper Shake. Comes off his line, catches it cleanly, and he'll feel a whole lot better about that. And stood there, Al, next to Cian Harries. I'm staggered at his height. I mean, I should know it if I'd done my research, but he's about all of 5'9" or 10. Oh, Harries almost caught in possession there by the debutant Sam Bellis. Does recover well, feeds it forward. Barham chests it. Stokes volleys it out to the right-hand side, or left-hand side. Ollie Scott battles away, wins the ball fairly, prods it into Tolaj, who's not on, he's not offside, squares it in. Stokes, goal! 1-0 to the Shots. They're back at it again here at Agborough in just the 6th minute, and finally paired together again. Tolaj and Stokes team up beautifully. Barham is well involved in the move. And the Shots are ahead in the 6th minute. Harriers 0, Aldershot Town 1.
Yeah, well, Ollie Scott won it on halfway. That was he nicked it off the Kidderminster. I think it was McNally, and he put Tolaj through, and it was a lovely square ball across the box. And Josh Stokes wasn't going to miss from there. We've seen him finish in those positions so many times.
I'm losing track now. I think it's his 17th goal of the season. I'm going 16th, 17th.
I think it's 16th.
Yeah, 16th. He's certainly gone. I thought he'd nipped ahead of Tolaj the other week, to be honest with you, but
that's just the start we needed.
Of course, it was Tolaj who went ahead last week, wasn't it? Up to 16, and Stokes now joins him. Everything that's good about those three who have not started together for 3 games was shown in that move and that finish, Al.
Yeah, definitely. And the threat from Kidderminster is going to come down this right-hand side. So
Hemmings,
Scott,
no doubt about it.
Yeah, Ollie Scott's going to have his work cut out today, but he did really well. He was the one who won that ball in midfield.
Stokes wins it there. He's so calm in front of goal. He's the most natural finisher that Aldershot have had for many, many years. I'd go back as far as Jake Robinson, I think, for me. That's how far I'd go back. He's finished a ridiculous amount of his one-on-ones this season, Al.
Yeah,
I mean, a really high percentage.
He's got composure. That's what, the sign of a good striker. When he doesn't panic, when he gets the ball in the box, he knows what he's going to do with it.
Ball goes back to Jasper Shake, who clears forward now. It's going to go straight to Kidderminster player. Harfield, well, a very late free kick given by Copeland. I don't think he was going to give it, but Amari Morgan-Smith reached his hands to the back of his head, at which point the referee realised he got to stop it anyway, and he did belatedly give the free kick. It looked as if he was going to let that one go, didn't it, Al?
I think he put his hands on the back of Morgan-Smith. I don't think he actually made contact with the head, did he? But anyway, the referee was in a good position, so he decided to give it.
Yeah, clever little bit of play there from Amari Morgan-Smith, who's an excellent target man, and Ashley Hemmings and Lambert stand over. Now the ball's played through to the far post, and kind of several players made attempts to get on it, but none did from either side, and it just sails harmlessly behind the goal away to our right. And here we are now in the 9th minute, and if you've joined us late, where were you? You've missed the front three combining to great effect. Their first start together for 3 games. Barham fed Tolaj, who might have been thinking about a shot, but he realised Stokes was in a better position. Beautifully weighted, squared pass. Stokes took it first time, slotted it home, and it almost feels like back to business as usual for those three.
Yeah, it was a good move, and that's what we like to see in this team. Everybody getting involved.
There's a clash of heads, and the referee spotted it. Barham just a little bit late with his jump, coming together with the one of the Kidderminster Town players, and it'll be a free kick to the Harriers, which the goalkeeper's coming to take, even though it's only 10 or 15 yards outside the centre circle. And that goalkeeper, of course, is Christian Dibble. Just heard a rather unusual noise. I don't know what that is on the equipment, but we'll come back to that. I think we're still on air. Ball forward, headed inside, but Mari Morgan-Smith's won all his headers so far. That's a real danger, because he's just dropping off to win them, isn't he? Here's Max Mullins winning the ball. Looks a little bit more like Trent Alexander-Arnold with his haircut today. Oh, in on the left side. Kidderminster's shot comes in. It's blocked well by Theo Widrington. And I want to give Widrington a huge credit there. He doesn't get enough with the Aldershot supporters. I tend to call it as it is, and he positioned himself brilliantly there to cut that one out, Al.
Yeah, it was a dangerous position just inside the box on the right-hand side of Aldershot's box, and he got a good block in and cleared the ball.
Here come Kidderminster out to the right. Again, a Morgan-Smith wins his header against Harfield. And he's targeting setting up more on this side against Harfield and to feed Hemmings, isn't he? And that's what Aldershot are going to have to be a little bit more aware of. I think Harries probably would fare better against him. Now shots play it forward. It's going to go all the way through to Christian Dibble in goal. We're in the 11th minute, and it remains Harriers 0, Aldershot Town 1. Red Blue Army is the cry away to our right on the far side. Ball forward, and it's headed on by Lambert into the path of Hemmings, gets it back from him. Stokes battling away and looking to win it. Harfield goes in tiny, just fractionally late. Referee making sure that the recipient of the foul, Lambert, is okay. And it's not Lambert, actually, I beg your pardon, it's the debutant Bellis. And the referee in the end doesn't have a word with Harfield. I think the crowd would have liked a yellow card there. I think they would have been harsh for me.
Yeah, no, nothing in it really. Very
committed challenge, just a fraction of a second late. Here's Hemmings with a free kick on halfway, sends it deep into the area. There's an offside flag up as again Amari Morgan wins the header. This time it was against Maxwell Mullins. Shots have been warned. Here's Harfield being shut down by Morgan-Smith. Ollie Scott comes back, feeds it to Widrington, who sends it forward. Tolaj can't get onto that. Harfield does well. Frost ball through the middle, taken brilliantly by Stokes. Sends a ball through the middle and he can't find Barham. But what a lovely take that was from Josh Stokes. Yeah. Under pressure, controlling it, turning and looking to set Barham away this time. Another good winner from Amari Morgan-Smith, and I reckon he's won 7 or 8 headers out of 7 or 8. And here's Ollie Scott. So in the 12th minute here, as that ball is punted harmlessly to the other end. Let's go and get our first update now from Ryan Matthews, who is calling Dorking Wanderers against Gateshead today. Ryan, how's it started there?
Very positive start for Dorking so far. It's goalless here at the moment, but really positive couple of openings for Dorking within this first 10 minutes. A couple of chances from set pieces, including a Franken free kick that drifted wide off the far post. But Gateshead are really trying to work their way into the game, but Dorking are playing pretty positively. Still 0-0 here.
Thank you very much, Ryan. So 0-0 there between Dorking and Gateshead. If the scorelines stay as they are, Aldershot won't just go up to 7th, they'll go up to 6th today. Now we're a long way from that, Al. Yeah, but the point that I'm making is if Aldershot better Gateshead's result today, then they can also go above them, as well as the other 3 teams that can't do anything about Aldershot's result because they're not playing today. Here's a throw taken down the line. Harries hooks it forward. And Shane Byrne just eases Stokes out of the way, but Aldershot, and then he eases Barham out of the way with a clever little nudge, which I think was legal. Frost tries a ball through the middle, and it will eventually drift all the way through to Christian Dibble. We will, of course, keep our eye on the other score that we're covering today as well. We won't be going for updates, but Worthing have travelled to Tunbridge. It's goalless there at the moment. Widrington fouls Amari Morgan-Smith, and Al, we were both really concerned about Ashley Hemmings before the game, and we still are.
Yeah.
But Morgan Smith worries me because they're finding him every time. He's dropping just short of the centre-backs, and he's winning everything.
They've got a good understanding, those two. They've been together for a while. I remember seeing them in the National League North at Appleton, and they're both journeymen, what I call journeymen, but they are very physical and they're very clever as well.
Good afternoon to Lindsay Morris, listening out in Tenerife, where I'm sure it's a good few degrees warmer than it is here. But here, it's a good few degrees warmer than it's been all week. The freezing temperatures have abated. We're up to about 6 or 7. I'm going to be honest and say it feels like about 1 or 2. It is still very nippy. Hat and gloves and jacket for me. All of those except gloves. In comes the ball, touched on, headed away by Harriers. Only as far as Zach Brown, who picks it up and wanders out to the left-hand side. He's got Frost for company. Now he goes back to Shane Byrne. Stokes gets a bit of a foot in. Aldershot get a foot in and win it, but they can only put it into touch. And it goes into touch in front of the S. That's the only letter of the Harriers that you can see at the end of that stand. And I've just realised with that divider there, Al, that the final section of the stand opposite us is seating area for Shots fans as well. So a reassess on the numbers in a minute. Ball into the middle, cleared away, and then Widrington plays it up to Tolaj, who holds it up and goes back to Ollie Scott. Scott turns away from trouble and plays it off of the Kidderminster player and into touch. Great work in the tight spot there from Ollie Scott. So yeah, I reckon we've got probably over 300 Shots fans here today, maybe 350, Al. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's pretty well packed that little bit, isn't it? Half of the stand.
Exactly. Is Aldershot from their own throw. Harries now plays it forward and is controlled nicely by Alex Penny. He goes back to his goalkeeper. And it's interesting, Aldershot today. You can see they're trying to be... You can see with Scott and Glover, Ollie Scott and Glover, their initial roles is defensive ones initially, but still getting plenty of energy going forward. Good ball from Byrne out to the right-hand side to Bellis. Can't see a way in, comes back to Hemmings. He's going to send a cross in. And, well, bravely, Jasper Sheikh goes down up against Morgan Smith. And I think maybe just gets something on it, but he's battered by Morgan Smith afterwards. Referee's allowed play to go on. Probably the right call there. Just players from both sides desperate to get on the end of it. It's Frost trying to ball down the line. Barham's not going to catch it anyway. Even if he did, he was offside. But Jasper Sheikh has just sat down. He's going to need some treatment, Al. And, well, Aldershot have put Finlay Weston on the bench. And what a turn of fate that would be. Understandably, really, Jasper Sheikh just wants some attention. He's only 19, and there was a coming together with Morgan Smith there.
I was going to say,
he was brave, wasn't he?
He had a wicked ball in, and it was a 50-50 ball, and Jasper could easily have been rooted to his line, but he went for it and he got injured in the process.
Yeah, if
so
he hadn't have been as brave as he was, then you know, Morgan Smith could have had a tap in there. So full credit to the Shots youngster, and let's hope that he's okay. Certainly, as all the rest of the players from both sides come over to the touchline to take on fresh instruction, that's not necessarily a bad thing probably for either side at this point. Aldershot have got something that he's okay, Sheikh. They've got themselves a precious early goal, that coming in the 6th minute from who else? Josh Stokes. Great to see that Sheikh is okay, and of course, being a goalkeeper, he doesn't have to come off the pitch for 30 seconds. That would be hilarious if they brought that rule in, wouldn't it?
Yes, you're right there. Obviously, goalkeepers get the benefit of the doubt, but I'm just a bit worried down this our left-hand side that Hemmings and Morgan Smith have been very prominent in the first 18 minutes, 17 minutes, and we need to be very careful of that.
Okay, we're going to start with a free kick to Kidderminster, taken by their goalkeeper Christian Dibble, halfway inside his own half. And so far, Aldershot's goal through Josh Stokes is the only one in the 4 National League games this afternoon. We will, of course, every 10 minutes or so go over to Dorking for an update, and we'll do that again in 2 or 3 minutes' time. Here's Kidderminster building down their right-hand side. They got themselves a throw-in right in front of Alan and myself now. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 rows back. on the press bench at the back of the main stand here at Agborough. And a very good afternoon, Richard Wharton. Here's Ashley Hemmings coming forward, cut out by Theo Widrington, and it will be another throw to Kidderminster Harriers, taken by Hemmings to Byrne, gets it straight back in one touch, gets his cross in, and it's hooked away by Cian Harries unceremoniously, and lands in front of the dugouts, and the referee says no, don't be coming halfway up the pitch here. McNally eventually steals a few more yards and finds Morgan Smith. He's up against Harfield, down by the corner flag now, goes back to Hemmings. Hemmings tries to get it in, it's cut out by Ollie Scott, and the shots, Al, they've had a lot of defending to do, but what they've had to do, they've done well so far. 19 and a half minutes in, 1-0 up.
Yeah, what I will say, last week we tried to play it out of defence.
Overlapping run, sorry Al, they're going to get a cross in here from the right, Kidderminster, and it's headed back inside and then bravely away by Max Mullins, and then away again by Widrington, but Zach Brown's got a shot that's blocked brilliantly by Max Mullins, and Aldershot might get out here. Tolaj touches it to Stokes. Stokes can't see an obvious out ball. Kidderminster, very fair play to them, out of possession, got themselves back quickly. Here's Stokes trying to ball down the right side, which might be better weighted for Barham to get onto. He's battling away for it, and he goes down in the end, but it'll disappear behind the goal away to our left. It'll be a goal kick to Kidderminster, but Aldershot doing well defensively. Mullins standing strong, Harfield standing strong, and quickly looking to score on the counter.
Yeah, I think what Tommy Widrington might have been saying before the game is, let's not muck about in our own area, let's get the ball clear, get the tackles in, and regroup, because last week against Bishop Stortford, I think we got caught 2 or 3 times trying to play it out from the back, so that looks like an obvious ploy to me.
Here's the goal kick, one in the air by Max Mullins against Lambert, but the ball drops kindly for Caleb Richards, who comes forward, now spreads it into Zach Brown, who squares it over to the right hand side. It's beautifully taken in his stride by Rhys McNally. Widrington wins it back. Well, he wins it back, but the referee gives the free kick to Hemmings, so he must have caught Hemmings as well. And it's level with us, Al, so about 40 yards out, right hand side of the penalty area. It'll be a very ambitious shot from there, but
yeah, just a little bit late, Theo there, but
yeah, there's been a few good hard tackles that have just been slightly time late, and the referee has given free kicks for them. Hemmings, of course, is a very tricky player, and he knows just how to get the contact and win the free kick, as Morgan Smith has done as well. And it's clipped into the penalty area here, and Cian Harries does really well to stand up strong and get a little back header on it. And at the other end now, Barham scurrying between 2 centre-backs to see if he can get onto something, and he can't. And it goes all the way back to Christian Dibble. We've got a fascinating game here at Agborough, where the shots are leading by 1-0. But as we approach the halfway point in the first half, let's nip back to Meadowbank and see if we've had any goal action yet between Dorking Wanderers and Gateshead with Ryan Matthews.
No goals to speak of yet, but lots of end-to-end action. Couple of corners for Gateshead, and both teams are struggling to play out from the back at the moment. Both sides have had decent sights of goal, but nothing really troubling either keeper. As we say that, Mail coming out to head one clear from the edge of his box, and then it's sliced high into the air by the Gateshead midfielder. But yeah, still goalless. End-to-end action here at Meadowbank, but nothing of any real quality. Still 0-0.
Thank you very much, Ryan, at Dorking. Here, the shots lead thanks to that 6th-minute goal from Josh Stokes. The ball won back beautifully by Ollie Scott, and then Barham, Tolaj and Stokes all involved in the goal. Here's the ball bouncing around the edge of the final third. Brave-headed winner from Widrington. It's hooked away by Kidderminster. Morgan Smith gets there, sends it out to the the left-hand side, and does brilliantly again. Finds looking for Bellis, but Aldershot managed to get it into touch. And I think there's no doubt whatsoever that Amari Morgan Smith has started in the mood today. Here he comes off his man and wins it again easily. It's a clear ploy for Kidderminster. He just drops off of the centre-backs and wins it and feeds the others. One of those he feeds is Hemmings, but Hemmings has been outwitted by Theo Widrington. Stokes gets the ball, comes inside, tries a little ball to Tollage. Tollage holding off his man, tries to skip inside, he's into the penalty area, goes down. Is that a penalty? Yes, it is! They just couldn't deal with the trickery and the pace of Laurent Tollage, and he's been pulled down in the 24th minute. And Aldershot Town have an opportunity to double their lead here at Agborough. And well, Cian Harries is the skipper, he's the penalty taker. He had a flurry of 4, didn't he, in the space of about 7 or 8 games earlier in the season. And he's going to get to take this one. Very quick word, Al, penalty or not for you?
Yeah, penalty, but again, Theo Widrington won the ball deep down on his side, away from their danger man, Hemmings. He fed who was it? It was Stokes, wasn't it? And Stokes put a clever little ball through to Tollage. And
Tollage wriggled free of his man, turned, and then was eventually pulled down. Referee kept up with play, gave the spot kick. Cian Harries steps up and sends the keeper the wrong way, calm as you like. Keeper dives to his right, Harries goes to his left and scores his 5th goal of the season, and all of them from the penalty spot. And here in the 25th minute is a scoreline that will delight Shots fans listening far and wide. Kidderminster Harriers 0, Aldershot Town 2.
How a week makes a difference. Last week we had 24 attempts on goal, only got 1 goal. This week we've had 2 attempts on goal, albeit 1 a penalty, and we've got 2 goal lead. We've doubled the lead.
Yeah, it's quite uncanny, really. I think pretty much the only 2 chances the Shots have had, and you know, you do feel as though Widrington's side strength are with the quick counter-attacks, but in between that they've been extremely good, and Widrington and Ollie Scott deserve huge credit for both goals in terms of winning the ball back for Shots. Here's Glover in possession in his own half. Frost plays it down the line to Stokes, who's right back on his game today. Really looks sharp. He's fed back a difficult ball from Widrington there, though, and he battles away and almost wins it back for a second time. Widrington, great turn from Lambert, and then Stokes sticks a foot in and wins it, but can only prod it to Brown. Brown back to Shane Byrne, who feeds Reece McNally, who's got a little bit of room in front of him and can find Ashley Hemmings now. Hemmings looking to work the ball in, and Kidderminster have been so mean defensively all season, have conceded twice in the first 25 minutes here, and to be perfectly honest, other than those 2 goals, they've been the ones asking all the questions of Aldershot. But there is an onus on Kidderminster that they've got to pull forward today. They've got to try and start scoring goals, haven't they? And they were found wanting at the back. Here's Reece McNally playing the ball back to Hemmings. He's going to go up against Scott, tries to get across in. Scott again makes some contact. It's flicked on by McNally and then volleyed away by Tyler Frost and bounces once into the stand just away to our left. We're in the 27th minute now here at Agborough, and when I last checked there hadn't been any goals elsewhere, but when we get a chance I think we will nip back to Ryan Matthews, because I think there's been a red card at Meadowbank, so just bear with us a couple of seconds, our producer, if you can, as Kidderminster are on the attack here. McNally inside, now the ball goes harmlessly through. So yeah, Ryan, if you can hear us and you want to give us an update, somebody's been sent off at Meadowbank. No, producers or Ryan not hearing us at the moment, but we shall see. Just got confirmation from just got confirmation from someone else here at the ground who's a neutral. He says clear penalty. No, there wasn't too much dispute in it. They had 2 or 3 efforts to try and get the ball off Tollage, and it was illegally done. So Kidderminster with an attacking throw now. As soon as the danger's been averted, or they've converted, whichever it is, we'll go back to Dorking. Here's Hemmings with a cross in, missed by a lot of people, and then disappears past the far post. And there was a few shouts, a few strangled cries of whether Caleb Richards was just slightly impeded by Ollie Harfield there. Meanwhile, as Cian Harries pulls his socks up, still sat on the ground, we've got a little brief stoppage in play. So let's go over to Ryan Matthews, where I believe there's been a red card. Ryan, tell us more.
Indeed, there has been a red card. It was Regan Booty, the former Maidstone man, sent off. Straight red for a terrible challenge on Jason Pryor in the centre circle. It looked to come out of absolutely nothing, but the cry went up and the ref had absolutely no hesitation. So still goalless, but Gateshead down to 10.
Kidderminster, thank you very much indeed. So Gateshead down to 10 at Dorking. It's still 0-0 there. There has been another goal in the National League. Boreham Wood have dared to take the lead against Bromley. Here's Harriers trying to hold position, but more. A really soft penalty been given to Kidderminster here. I can't quite believe it, but the referee's given it. I'll get Alan's opinion in a minute. So Harriers was holding off one man. The ball bounced in front of him, and it didn't bounce too kindly. Morgan Smith nipped in, and then there was a coming together, and Morgan Smith timed his fall and his scream superbly. And the referee has given a quick word from you, Al. Again, call it as honestly as you can.
Yeah,
penalty or not for you?
I'm afraid Harriers was at fault there. He let the ball bounce. He could have gone for the header and not let it bounce. It bounced awkwardly, and Morgan Smith took advantage. Okay,
Ashley Hemmings with a chance to get Kidderminster back into this game. They're 2-0 down. We're on the half-hour mark. Hemmings steps up and sends Jasper Shake the wrong way. Kidderminster Harriers have scored their first goal under Phil Brown. Jasper Shake has conceded his first competitive goal for Aldershot Town, and the referee, Stephen Copeland, has given a penalty at either end, both of which may arguably be considered soft, but both have been given, and it is Kidderminster Harriers 1, Aldershot Town 2. Alan Baldwin.
Yeah, I'm afraid we can't keep a clean sheet, can we? It's just not in the stars, but Kieran should have really gone for that and just made his mind up to clear it, and he let it bounce, and Morgan Smith was very clever and got the goal side.
That's exactly what I wouldn't dispute. Morgan Smith was so clever there to pounce on the hesitation and then to feel whatever contact there was and go down. I don't think it warranted the scream, but maybe that was just for a bit of effect. Referee goes down here and keeps his eye on play as Barham keeps the ball for shots and finds Glover. Glover's pass inside doesn't find its intended recipient, and now Kidderminster can look to counter. Ball straight through the middle. Shake's coming out. Arfield headed it back, and luckily it fell to Shake. That could have been an awful moment there. The shots could have conceded twice in the space of a minute and a half, but well done Jasper Shake, at least for keeping his eye on the ball. Harfield didn't realise he was still coming, and he headed it what would have been back either into his own goal or into the path of the on-rushing Kidderminster striker. So it's all happening here at Agborough. You've definitely chosen the right game on radio today, that's for sure. 3 goals already. Kidderminster looking to get back in this one again now with an equaliser if they can. Is Bellis on the right hand side, squares it across. It's cut out by Harfield, won't quite find touch. Bellis controls it nicely, goes back to Hemmings, and Kidderminster have got something. They've got their tails up. That one's surely going to bounce into, incredibly, the Kidderminster fans want another penalty for that, which is just staggering for me, but I guess desperate times call for desperate shouts, don't they?
Yeah, I think if it had been the other way around, we would have been making a few protests, but Glover just put his arm on the guy and the guy went down very easily. But we've got to just compose ourselves and get back to what we were doing a bit earlier. Let's not make any silly mistakes, and that was a silly mistake by Harriers.
32 minutes gone. Kidderminster 1, Aldershot Town 2. Billy Sass-Davies put Boreham Wood ahead at Bromley, and Sam Woods has equalised pretty soon after, something Bromley are very adept at doing when they do go behind. It's coming from behind, and excuse me, Aldershot have possession just inside their own half, and now they play it out to the left hand side, taken on the chest nicely by Ollie Scott. And Aldershot building down the left. Scott plays a ball inside, that won't find its recipient. Kidderminster cut the ball out and is in touch, and the thing is, Kidderminster have been having a difficult time all season, Al. We know they've struggled to score goals. They desperately wanted some momentum today. They've gone 2-0 down, but now they've got something that they'll cling to and they'll work on, and surely Frost is impeded by Brown. No, nothing given.
They are being a bit more physical, and they're winning all the physical battles.
It's an interesting one, the way the refs you know, he's letting some soft contact go, but others he's penalising. In his own head, of course, he'll be totally consistent, but it's not so straightforward watching on. Always a ball inside, poor touch from Frost, and the ball's taken off him by Morgan Smith, and Kidderminster keep it with Shane Byrne. Byrne goes back to McNally, tries a sharp turn to get away from Tollage, which he does. Tollage comes back at him. McNally out to Hemmings on the right hand side. He's in a rich vein of goal scoring form. That should be an Aldershot throw. Ollie Scott played it off of off of McNally. But I think the referee, I think it's been given to Kidderminster. It has. Difficult to tell. Right, the second contact was right on the line. Hemmings will now take, and having got a 2-goal lead, Aldershot will be very mindful of not conceding again before half-time, but Kidderminster have got their tails up here. Hemmings sends a ball in. Bellis skipping around inside the penalty area. Back to Hemmings. Not the best weighted or directed pass, taken down by Lambert. Widrington gets a foot in. 2 players are down, both Widrington and I think Lambert have both come off worse in that challenge there, and I don't think it was a free kick either way, but they've had a coming together. Widrington now gets up to his feet, but he's hobbling and goes back down on his haunches, and we can finally catch our breath here. 35 minutes gone. We've got a stoppage in play for treatment to both sides, so a little bit early, and I know we're overusing him this afternoon, but let's go back to Ryan Matthews and see how things are settling down there at Meadowbank after the sending off of Regan Booty for Gateshead.
Dorking slowly coming into the ascendancy following the sending off of Regan Booty for Gateshead. It's still goalless here, but Dorking getting a larger share of the possession, as you would expect to happen. Bobby Joe Taylor has flashed over from quite a considerable distance recently, but Dorking are slowly trying to build and press home that one-man advantage. Still goalless here, though, at Meadowbank.
Thank you very much indeed, Ryan Matthews. Now, the Kidderminster player is still down. Who is it? Sorry, do you know the Kidderminster player?
I can't see his number.
Oh, it is Lambert, isn't it? That was my first thought, and it is. Sorry. Now the independent friend and colleague that I've got here that's watching, that said the Aldershot one was a penalty, has said regarding the Kidderminster penalty, I think Morgan Smith invited the contact, but definitely took one in the back. Not surprised the ref gave it. And regarding this coming together between Widrington and Lambert, you got a clear view of that as well, saying that Theo accidentally kneed him in the back of the head there. I'm pleased to see that it looks like both players are okay. And it also looks like some common sense has been used by a referee. Both players have had treatment. What would be the point of them both coming off for 30 seconds? They both stay on. Hurrah to that. Kidderminster not starting with a drop ball. More proof that the referee didn't think there was a foul there. Harriers does well this time, and it's cleared forward, and then a towering headed winner by Alex Penny. And Stokes battling away for the ball here on halfway. It's with Hemmings, tries the ball down the line. Harfield clears it forward and finds Widrington, who helps it on towards Barham. Barham's beaten in the air. Second header from Kidderminster, and a good battle now between Morgan Smith and Scott, and Morgan Smith wins that, as he's won nearly all his individual battles today. Ball played up towards him again, turns sharply, plays it inside, and Max Mullins is onto that one, plays the ball up to Tollage, tries a little turn that doesn't come off. Zach Brown's picked up the loose ball, and he's got Lambert outside of him on the left hand side. He's towards the edge of the penalty area, tries to get in. Oh, what a tackle! Maxwell Mullins take a bow, goes to ground, wins the ball and finds Glover going forward. Glover in fact can't quite get there, and Kidderminster will come again down the left hand side. Tollage is back there working, but Richards has got away, he's pulled it back, it's missed by a couple of people, comes to Hemmings. Hemmings shoots, Hemmings scores, and Kidderminster are level in the 38th minute. It's a double for Ashley Hemmings. Aldershot so nearly cleared their lines, but Harriers respond. And after having a 2-goal lead in the first 25 minutes, it's now been wiped out. Kidderminster Harriers 2, Aldershot Town 2.
Max Mullins did ever so well to win the ball right on the our right-hand touchline, but he overplayed the ball a little bit, and the Kidderminster picked it up, went down the left, played it in, evaded everybody until Hemmings at the far post showed the composure to pick his spot, and it was a well taken finish. You can't really deny that Kidderminster don't deserve to be on level terms. They've been the better side. They're winning all the physical battles. Everyone in the tackle. We've got to be stronger in those areas. We have been a little bit bullied, I'm afraid.
Certainly by Morgan Smith, but it's Hemmings whose goals have punished Aldershot Town. You have to say, as Alan quite rightly says, on the balance of play, Kidderminster at least deserve to be level. Here's Glover and Stokes working hard going backwards. I do feel for Mullins. He won the ball superbly, and there wasn't a lot wrong with the weight of his path. Oh, hang on a minute, Barham's keeping the ball in down here by the corner flag, skips inside of his man, squares it in, headed away, should be cleared away by Kidderminster here. In fact, it isn't. And there's sort of giddy excitement in Agra Stadium here, because it looked in the first 25 minutes as if nothing still this season was going to go their way. Only one win in the last 13, 2-0 down, but they fought their way back. Here's Stokes on the edge of the area. A little bit of a shove in the back, stays on his feet though, elects not to go down and keep possession. Goes back to Mullins. Mullins down the right side to Glover. Nice touch inside to Stokes. He looks to skip past his man. He can't win it cleanly, but he does find Glover. Glover inside to Stokes again, and it's a poor pass, poor weighted pass. Kidderminster win it, and they can come away down the left hand side with that man Lambert. There's a coming together off the ball between Widrington and Morgan Smith. Here's Ollie Scott rolling the ball down the line, looking for Barham, but McNally's won it. McNally's impeded by Barham. Free kick to Kidderminster, and well, there's 6 minutes plus whatever's added at half time, but it might well be a case for both teams of coming out and going back to the original game plan.
That was another example where Kidderminster have been stronger, they're more physical, and they're winning the battles, and the referees giving them the benefit of the doubt. We've really got to stand up to these one-on-one tackles, 50-50 balls. We're losing every one of them.
That's Alan Baldwin, I'm Rob Worrell, and we're live at Agbra. National League action, Kidderminster Harriers against Aldershot Town. There's Barham battling away again, and his second touch puts the ball into touch, and he was a little bit unlucky there. It was the first bounce was kind, it stayed in play, and then he tried to get more control, and it came on the left offside of his head and went into touch. And so 4 goals. If you want to see goals, go and watch Aldershot Town matches, that's for sure. Here is Bellis trying to get away down the right hand side. He's leaving Widrington trailing in his wake, comes back onto his left foot, clips the ball in. Glover heads that one away. Stokes battles away with Shane Byrne. Byrne toes it on to McNally, who's quickly going to be shut down by Barham. Plays it back up to Byrne. Stokes putting the pressure on him. And Aldershot, who was so clinical with their first 2 clear-cut chances today, have been picked off again. 2 more goals in the back of the shots net. Here's Lambert going to try a shot from distance, and he drags it wide. And it's going to be a really interesting half-time for both managers. Brown's team will be on the up. They'll be brushing off those 2 goals conceded and focusing all the damage that they're causing Aldershot, Al. As for Aldershot Town, well, I don't know, what do you make of what they need to do better?
Well, as I said, we've got to win those 50-50s, and Kidderminster, to their credit, have won every single aerial duel, they've won every tackle, and we've been penalised for those tackles where we haven't quite got the ball.
Yeah, I think they've won a lot of them, by far the higher percentages. They've by no means won every one. I mean, if I just give you the 2 goals Aldershot scored, Widrington and Scott both won the ball back superbly to start those moves. But I know what you're saying, and you're probably just exaggerating the point, but if there's one bully out there who's been absolutely superb, it's Morgan Smith.
Yeah.
And obviously Hemmings is the guy who's finished. I mean, there was a lot happened after Mullins, won the ball and fed it up to Glover, who couldn't quite get onto it. Richards did well getting down to the byline, squared it, and it kind of missed everybody and came to Hemmings at the far post, and he did no second invitation to have one touch to control it and then rifled it past. There's no doubts about Ashley Hemmings finishing, is there? I mean, he's up to double figures for the season now.
Yeah, it's good. He's a good player, and he's very composed as well. Morgan Smith is physical, but Hemmings has got a lot of skill. Here's
Mullins sending the ball forward, and It's well won by Penny, I think, back there. He sends it forward to Jack Lambert, who chests it into a position of space. It's picked up by Caleb Richards. The assist there for the Kidderminster equaliser. And now it's sent forward deep into the heart of the Shots defence. And already Hemmings was waiting where he knew Ollie Scott would head it to. Just profiting in little pockets of space. On this occasion, though, Zach Brown gets it all wrong and Shots win it, and Glover toes it up towards Frost, who's got the afterburners on. And Lambert chases him and toes it into touch and gets a great cheer from the Kiddie faithful. And we know that Dorking have got a man over. Can they take advantage at Meadowbank? Let's go for another quick update from Ryan Matthews.
And you join us just as Dorking have taken the lead. Their one-man advantage proving costly just before half-time. It was worked across from Taylor out towards the left-hand side. Charlie Carter, the number 16, turned this way and that in the 18-yard box and fired a fierce left-footed strike towards the bottom near side corner. Ed Beach got a hand to it, but it wasn't enough. Dorking Wanderers 1, Gateshead 0.
Woking player who's given it. Thank you very much, Ryan. Here's a ball back, and nothing given against Harriers, who just stopped his man from making progress there. And Murray Morgan-Smith has missed a ball played up somewhere in his same postcode for the first time all in the first half, and the shots come again from halfway with Ollie Scott finds Widrington. And Aldershot haven't been able to boss territory at all here, or possession. Here's Barham, sends it inside. He's given offside anyway. And here at Agbra, we're in the 44th minute now. We'll very shortly find out how much added time there will be. I can see it already, actually. It's 5, but it won't start for another minute or so. And well, we can't complain at the entertainment on show, can we?
No, I mean, Kidderminster look nothing like a team bottom of the table, do they? They've been very positive, they've been very skillful, and they've won the physical battles. I'm surprised that I didn't see the home game against them, but I'm surprised that they're so far adrift.
Hemmings is dispossessed by Ollie Scott. Harries clears to touch, got a little bit of whip on it, but it will only go out halfway inside Aldershot Town's own half. And Hemmings doesn't have a lot of options here. He's got 5 Aldershot Town players he can throw it to, but somebody somewhere needs to get away from their man. Eventually he does find Bellis holding it up, goes back to Zach Brown, right in front of myself and Al. Little timid ball forward is cut out by Harfield, sent back in again. Widrington puts his head down, doesn't get contact. Zach Brown has a shot, half cleared, bouncing around. Harries looks to clear it, he then goes down. It's picked up by the number 14 Brown. He gets a shot in. Glover and Mullins throw themselves in front of it. Then it comes across again and Widrington heads it behind. I'm sure somewhere in that lot, Al, Aldershot Town should have had a free kick. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, there were some coming together, shall we say, which the referee's been penalising up to now, but he didn't there, did he?
Well, Kidderminster Harriers, who were 2-0 down on 25 minutes, level now, and they've got a corner. And in it comes from Hemmings, underneath the bar, headed away by Glover, flicked on by Barham, and then Stokes will battle away with Byrne, but Byrne gets there first. And now it's picked up by McNally. He's inside the penalty area, back to goal. Disallowed goal, potentially a second for Dorking, not given. And eventually McNally goes down and wins a free kick over on the far side. So Dorking 1, Gateshead 0 there. Gateshead down to 10. Here it's 2-2, and we're into the second of 5 added minutes at Agbra. And Aldershot have now got to defend a free kick. Out to halfway inside the penalty area in terms of distance from goal, but way out on the left-hand side. And I'm pretty sure that Jack Lambert's going to swing it in right-footed. He does so. Now it's low. It's cleared away by Ollie Scott, and he's given a goal kick there, the referee, and that might be the first time I think he's made a decision other than the penalty that's questionable for Kidderminster, because it looked to me like Scott put that behind for a goal corner.
Well, yeah.
Maybe he brushed it off the Kidderminster player.
I think 2 players again going for it, and from here you would have thought that it was the Aldershot player that put it out, but I'm not complaining.
So 2-2, and a bit of a rethink required by Tommy Widrington, Hugo Lambert and Richard Walker at half-time. Kidderminster have again won it too easily from Aldershot's goal kick. Lambert comes forward, It's Frost battling away, but he can't get off him. He's a tricky player, Lambert, he really is. This time he feeds Brown. Brown comes down the left-hand side. It's picked up by Bellis, who's come off his man nicely. Back to Lambert. And Lambert trying to make room for a cross. He can do left or right. Comes back onto his left, and eventually the ball's in touch. Glover believes it's a shot's throw. I think the referee got that one right. It is Lambert. Lambert's going to leave it for Caleb Richards. And we're in the third of 5 minimum added minutes here, where it's 2-2. Glover does well to stop the cross coming in. You can see where Aldershot, they've been bullied at times, Al, but they have been ferocious at trying to stop crosses coming in, just getting any sort of contact on it. Glover one side, Scott the other. Harfield at times. 2-2. 49 minutes very nearly elapsed. We're going to have at least 50. In comes across from the left, Morgan Smith. Very clever work from Harfield, who just was physically up against Smith enough just to ease him off, and Smith smiles at him as he runs by him, and he knows all about that kind of behaviour because he's probably the best player on the pitch at doing it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Goal kick to shots.
He's using the body, and on that occasion Ollie Harfield did it superbly, and but up to now Morgan Smith has been the one who's shone out on that side of the game.
1-1 between Bromley and Bournemouth at half time, and it's 1-0 to Dorking against Gateshead at half time. Full half time report to come from Ryan Matthews as George goes around the ground at half time, not around the grounds. But actually, no, that's not true. They probably will go and get an update from Kevin Anderson, who's at Tunbridge against Worthing. I won't preempt what the score is there for our radio listeners. We'll let Kevin keep his powder dry for that one. And we're probably just a matter of seconds away from the half-time whistle here now at Agborough, where the referee added on a minimum of 5. He's just checked his watch. Throw into Kidderminster in the left-back position. Good things and bad for both sides in this first half. But again, the referee, now he blows his whistle for half-time. 50 minutes on the clock, and it is Kidderminster Harriers 2, Aldershot Town 2. And Al, sum up that first half for us.
Well, it was a bit of a helter-skelter sort of game, wasn't it? We got the early goal, seemed to settle down, and then along came the penalty, and again it came out of nowhere. A good counter-attack, and Harriers put the resultant penalty superbly into the bottom corner. And at that stage I thought 2-0 up, we will settle down now and just take the sting out of the game. But Kidderminster, to their credit, they kept coming, and they are a lot better side than their position in the table indicates.
Yeah, in the first half at the EBB, Aldershot really gave Kidderminster a pounding and only went in 1-0 up, didn't they? And in the end it was a couple of key refereeing decisions that meant that the shots could still get through on that one. But hey, let's round things up here. Throw back to you in the studio, George, with well, that was a goal-packed first half, and I dare say there'll be some more at least in the second half. Half-time here at Agborough, Kidderminster Harriers 2, Aldershot Town 2.
Thank you very much to Rob Worrell and Alan Baldwin. We'll be checking back in with the guys at Agborough for full second half commentary on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey in about 15 minutes or so. But yeah, Aldershot Town going 2 goals up, finishing the half at 2-2. Work to do in the second half. As I say, full commentary coming your way in the next 15 minutes. Elsewhere in the National League, Dorking started the day 1 point clear of the relegation zone. It's early days yet, so we can't read into the table too much. But how are they getting on today? Last time we checked in, it was 1-0 at Meadowbank against Gateshead. Ryan Matthews, what's the half-time update for us?
It's still 1-0 here at Meadowbank. It could well have been 2. Jason Pryor put the ball in the back of the net only 2 minutes after Dorking went ahead in the 42nd minute, but it was ruled out correctly for offside. This game is one that really changed on a red card, straight red for Regan Booty for Gateshead after 24 minutes for a challenge on Pryor. Really handed the initiative to Mark White's side, in truth. It had been an end-to-end game up to that point, but they've really started to press home the advantage. It was a fine goal from Charlie Carter, played across the left-hand side of the box and drilled in left-footed past Ed Beach at his near post. And as we say, Mark White wouldn't have really wanted the half-time whistle to come, but it's looking good for Dorking so far. 1-0 at half-time.
Lovely, thank you very much, Ryan. So yeah, as the table looks at the moment, Dorking are now 4 points clear of the relegation zone, so definitely going in the right direction. So that's the two wrapped up then for half-time in the National League. We're going to head to the National League South very shortly for Tonbridge Angels against Worthing. Kevin Anderson has been live for us at Longmead Stadium. We'll get an update from that in just a moment. But what we're going to do up next...
BBC Radio Surrey.
is get the latest from the world of sport, hear about today's action in the Premier League and those local national sporting stories. So, we've got Ashley Adamson-Edwards standing by, ready for us to give us the latest. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, George. Thank you very much indeed. Let's start with the Premier League, and at 12:30, Arsenal welcome Crystal Palace, and what a cracker that was for the Gunners. It finished 5-0 in the end. Gabriel getting on the scoreline initially, then a Dean Henderson own goal. Trossard got the third, and Gabriel Martinelli with a brace in additional time. That now means Arsenal are third in the Premier League on 43 points, level with Man City. Liverpool on 45 in first place, but they have a game in hand on Arsenal. Brighton Hove Albion, the only other Premier League game today, Brentford host Nottingham Forest, what will be Ivan Toney's first game back since his ban from football 8 months ago for betting. He'll lead the side out as captain today. Last season in the top flight, he scored 20 goals. Brighton Hove Albion have confirmed the signing of Valentin Barco from Boca Juniors on a 4.5-year contract until June 2028. The 19-year-old, he arrives having made 35 first-team appearances from Boca, where he came through the academy and helped the club reach the last year's Copa Libertadores final. Our Albion commentator Johnny Cantor says he's one for the future.
You know, McAllister took a little bit of time to settle, didn't he? Caicedo, and they all went out on loan at some stage to then come back. So it'll be interesting to see what the plan for him is and how quickly he's brought into the fold and what what they see as best for him and for the club.
Brighton Hove Albion back in action on Monday night at home to Wolves. Will have live coverage on BBC Radio Sussex. Other transfer headlines: Bayern Munich, they're interested in Newcastle's man Kieran Trippier. West Ham, they're in talks for Calvin Phillips, and Chelsea are willing to sell striker Armando Broja, but only for £50 million. In the Championship earlier on, Southampton, they thrashed Swansea 3-1 for the 12:30 kickoff at half-time. Let's quickly run through a couple of those score lines. Blackburn Rovers, they're drawing with Huddersfield Town 1-1. Bristol City, same scoreline there with Watford. Middlesbrough 0-0 against Rotherham United. Norwich are beating West Brom 1-0. Plymouth Argyle drawing 1-1 with Cardiff. Queen's Park Rangers, they're beating Millwall 1-0. Coventry, they lead Sheffield Wednesday by a goal to 0, and Stoke City are losing to Birmingham City 1-0 there as well. Let's turn our attention to some international football now. AFCON 2024 is well underway. Senegal and Cape Verde, they're the only teams to have secured knockout qualification so far. Today, Algeria play Burkina Faso, and at the moment in that one, it's 2-1 to Burkina Faso. A penalty from Bertrand Traoré to give Burkina Faso the lead. That's in the 94th minute there. Mauritania face Angola at 5, and Tunisia kick off against Mali at 8. In the Asian Cup, Qatar, Australia, Iran, Iraq have won both of their opening games. Earlier today, Jordan drew 2-2 with South Korea. At 2:30, Bahrain kicks off against Malaysia. At the moment, the scoreline in that one, nice and quickly, that's 0-0 in the 67th minute there. In tennis, and Britain's Cameron Norrie is through to the 4th round of the Australian Open for the first time in his career. He beat the 11th seed Casper Ruud in 4 sets in Melbourne. Here's Ruud after that one.
Tough one out there for me. I think Cam played well, he played smart, he neutralized my game well. I wasn't able to stay as aggressive as I would like, and as I've maybe been in the past, the matches that I've played down here. He had most of the initiative throughout the match, which is something that I didn't like.
In the women's draw, a huge shock earlier today. World number 1 Iga Swiatek knocked out by 19-year-old Linka Noskova from Czech Republic. What a story there. More on that to follow. Ice hockey's Guildford Flames, they're away to Glasgow Clan tonight for leg 1 of their Challenge Cup semi-final, with a chance to get one step closer to a major trophy. Their captain Brett Ferguson says there's an opportunity they can't let slip.
Some of the new players in that don't really, especially coming from North America, they don't fully understand how much the Challenge Cup means. So we're just trying to relay that to the guys and get everyone on board with, how we have a chance to win a major trophy here, and we got to take advantage.
The Flames, they get underway at 7 tonight. Some big games in hockey at the moment. Great Britain's men and women hockey teams have one last chance to qualify for the Paris Olympics this month. The women's team travel to Valencia for their qualifiers, where they will face Canada, Malaysia and Spain in Pool B. Meanwhile, the men's team take on China, Malaysia and Pakistan in Pool A in Oman. Both teams need to secure a place in the top 3 of their respective tournaments to qualify for Paris 2024. In the darts, last night, youngster Luke Littler has continued his incredible rise by beating Michael van Gerwen 8-5 in the Bahrain Masters. In the Rugby Union's Champions Cup, can the Leicester Tigers make the last 16? Well, at the moment, the scoreline, let's get a quick check on that one. It is 10-10 right now. More on that to follow later with my update at full time of the football. Boxing, and Natasha Jonas fights America's Michaela Mayer tonight in her home city of Liverpool. Jonas is defending her IBF one welterweight title at the M&S Bank Arena. That for now, George, is all your sporting update.
Thank you, Ashley.
BBC Radio Surrey.
So let's quickly go back to it then. Let's quickly talk ice hockey. Now, it's a big night for players and fans for the Guildford Flames. The team are looking to reach their second ever Challenge Cup final. They lost in triple overtime 4 years ago against the Belfast Giants in Cardiff, and they are still searching for their first major trophy since moving up into the Elite League 6 years ago. They play Glasgow Clan in Scotland tonight in the first leg before a return to Surrey in just over 2 weeks' time. Tim Durrans has been speaking to their captain Brett Ferguson, who heard a little bit from in the Sports Bulletin a second ago, who will lead the Flames out for an opportunity, he agrees, that doesn't come around too often.
No, exactly. I mean, any chance you have when you get kind of in these final stages and get close to winning a trophy, especially for us, because, we've only joined the Elite League now. This is our 6th season and we haven't had, a major trophy yet. So this would be, this is our closest step to bringing that first major trophy to Guildford. So it's obviously very exciting for us. And you kind of get some of the new players in that don't really, especially coming from North America, they don't fully understand how much the Challenge Cup means. So we're just trying to relay that to the guys and get everyone on board with, how we have a chance to win a major trophy here, and we got to take advantage.
And your memories of the defeat in Cardiff? It was some match. I was down there watching it with you guys. It was, it was close. Yeah,
I mean, obviously, that's not a great memory when you're in a final in Cardiff and you lose. But that's the way it is in sports. One team's got to win, one team's got to lose, and now it's just nice you get another chance to go back at it.
Do you feel better placed this time? I'm not asking you necessarily to compare the team with then and now, but you've been around longer at the Flames. You're leading the team into another season. Do you feel you're slightly better placed perhaps this season?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we've all, from the organization standpoint, the coaching, the players, we've all taken big steps since then. We're turning ourselves into a contender to win every trophy, whereas maybe back then we were kind of just finding our footing in the Elite League and trying to just kind of compete. But now the expectation is to win games, to win trophies, to be one of the top programs in the entire Elite League. So I think we're right from the top of the organization down, we're in a much better place and more prepared to get the result.
And on that note, hand on heart, obviously so close last season, arguably one of the best seasons in the club's history in terms of the league, and yet things fell away a little bit at the start of this season. You changed a couple of personnel perhaps to kickstart it, and do you feel the form has been coming back?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's just the way it is. You have guys that move on. So we whether they're playing on different clubs around Europe or if they're moved on from ice hockey in general. But you have guys you have new guys that come in, and obviously last year was a great season for us. Just we came up short at the end. We were 2 points off winning the league trophy, and we had a slower start this year. And I don't know if I'd call it a bit of a hangover or whatever. We just weren't clicking as a club. We made some personnel changes, and now everyone's been playing better, right from our forwards and our defense, and our goaltending has been excellent. So we find ourselves in a spot that we're happy with our on ice performance right now. But like they say, you're only as good as your next game or your last game. So it means nothing if we've won a lot of games in the last month and a half here, but it means nothing if you don't perform in the next game coming up.
So that was Guildford Flames captain Brett Ferguson ahead of their first leg of the Challenge Cup semi-final. They're away to Glasgow Clan tonight with play getting underway at 7 o'clock. So back to the football then. And locally, Kidderminster Harriers are drawing with Aldershot Town. It's 2-2 there. Dorking are currently winning 1-0 at home to Gateshead. In the National League South, we've got a half-time update. Here's Kevin Anderson at Longmead Stadium.
Well, goalless here at the break, but it's not for want of trying, and both teams have had their chances. A very fast, open, direct sort of game, and Worthing have had slightly the better of it. 2 minutes in, they had a big penalty appeal. Ali Pearce went sprawling in the box. Referee Phil Eddy decided there was not enough contact. I thought justifiable penalty could have been given. However, it wasn't. Then the Rebels' defence was sliced open by Tunbridge, and Josh Jeffries had a good save to make from Liam Vincent. Should have been even a better save. Vincent had a lot to shoot at and hit the keeper when he really should have hit one of the corners. Easy from the sides, isn't it? Then play settled down a little bit. Tunbridge pressing very high, and Worthing was struggling to get out of their own defensive third. Lots of those little triangular passing moves in order to work their way upfield. And it went a bit quiet until the last 10 minutes of the half or so. 38 minutes, Jake Robinson through the inside left channel, struck too high when from our angle it looked as though he should really have hit the target. Easy from the sidelines, as we say. And then Jordan Higgs from 25 yards drew for Tonbridge, drew a superb elastic one-handed save by Josh Jeffries in the Rebels goal. Absolutely outstanding save, because it was a very, very good shot and it was going in the top corner. That's the nearest anyone has come, really. Although just after that, Robinson again on the turn from a scorching move, just struck his shot wide. I don't think it'll stay 0-0, but those are famous last words.
There we go. Thank you, Kevin Anderson at Longmead Stadium for us. Tonbridge Angels 0-0 against Worthing. So Worthing looking to hopefully get a goal in the second half nice and early, I think. So, yeah, in the National League then, Dorking are still winning 1-0 at Gateshead, where it's currently half-time. But we are now going to go back to Agborough for the second half commentary of Kidderminster Harriers against Aldershot. It's currently 2-2. We go back to Alan Baldwin and Rob Worrell.
Yes, thank you very much, George. We're underway in the second half, and thankfully no goals in the first 35 seconds. I don't think it'll be too long before they arrive again. Tollage has just had a nasty knock there, but he's got to his feet and he's okay. Halffield looking to play the ball forward. Barham given offside, and it is the correct decision, but I don't think the assistant referee was very well positioned there, and I think he might have guessed, but he guessed well, he guessed right. Free kick to Kidderminster, halfway inside their own half, in fact a bit deeper than that. And welcome back Alan Baldwin. Christian Dibble is going to take this goal kick. I don't think we've had any changes of personnel. You haven't spotted any, have you, Al?
No, there's none.
All right, so 1-0 Dorking at Meadowbank against 10-man Gateshead, and 2-2 here. Shots starting really well, but being pegged back. And, well, the next goal here could be crucial. It will certainly be influential, that's for sure, whoever gets it.
Well, the way it's going, we could end up with a 4-4. You know, I'm not saying we've had the chances, but I do feel that there must be some more chances coming from us. We've not been our usual fluent up the top.
I think it depends if we see a different approach from Aldershot Town here. I think they're so determined to be tight and not concede today that the wing-backs have been really disciplined, and as a result the team has ended up defending way more than it normally does against a Kidderminster side who have to push forward. And clearly Aldershot have been clinical on their counter-attack twice to score the goal and win the penalty. Here's another cross into the area, bounces awkwardly. Harfield trying to get something on it, does at the second attempt. Zach Brown gets something on it, and then there's more battling away. Kidderminster appealing for a penalty. Ref shakes his head and waves his hands. He's like, "No, I'm done for the day on penalties. I'll give them one each. Now get off my back." Bit of a hopeful appeal, that one, to be fair. Here's Penny coming forward, sending the ball up to Richards, the provider of the equalising goal for Ashley Hemmings. He goes back to Penny. We're in the 48th minute already, still 2-2 here at Agborough. And now Penny sends it in long to the far post, looking for Morgan Smith, who gets up, gets his head on the ball and beats the outstretched dive of Jasper Sheikh, and somehow or other that one has got in. Just a ball aimed up to Morgan Smith. We've talked about how good he's been today, and now he's got a goal to put the icing on the cake. He's been superb in all his hold-up play. There's no way that header should have been going in, Al.
No, it was a hopeful ball from down here on the left-hand side of the Kidderminster left flank, and you've got to say he timed his jump well and he headed it into the far corner. I don't think you could blame Jasper Sheikh for that. It was right in the corner, but very disappointing that he won the header so easily. I think he was up against Cian Harris, and again,
the ball had to be perfect, the timing of his jump had to be perfect, the contact from his head had to be perfect, and then it had to beat Sheikh, who dived, but it was almost like slow motion, wasn't it? You're thinking, will he get there? Will he get? No, he won't. It's so well directed, and Kidderminster now find themselves in a rare position as they send the ball in. Here they've scored so early. Barham's nicked it on the right hand side, crosses it in to the far post. Can it be kept in? Contact off the head of a Kidderminster player into touch. It'll be a throw in to the Shots over on the far side, and from 2-0 up the Shots find themselves 3-2 down and looking to respond quickly. We said we wouldn't have to wait long for another goal, and we didn't. Sadly for Aldershot, it's gone in the other end. Yeah, and Amari Morgan Smith has done everything but score today, and now he's got a goal.
Yeah, he deserved that goal. He's been, along with Hemmons, the outstanding player up front.
He's battling away for it now, but it's come off him. It's gone into touch. Aldershot taking a throw. And whatever the half-time discussion, it's a terrible pass inside from Cian Harries looking for Mullins, and it's picked off by Lambert, and then the back heel doesn't come off. But Shane Byrne gets onto it, plays a lovely ball out to the left, and Caleb Richards gets his ball wrong. And Frost finds Stokes. Stokes plays it forward looking for Tolaj. Good work there from McNally, I think it was. No, it was Penny. No, McNally, sorry. And here is Glover. Glover on the right hand side. I'm wondering if Kidderminster have gone to a 3 at the back, you know. Keep an eye on that for us. Here's Stokes receiving the ball inside the penalty area. Goes up against his man. Looks to go back one way then the other, and then it's played behind for a corner to the Shots. And if you just joined and you heard it's 3-2 Kidderminster, you think, oh, I know, both teams going toe-to-toe, pounding each other with attack after attack. No, that's not been the case. Aldershot have been up against it from the very start today for Kidderminster. They've scored 2 goals brilliantly on the break, but now they've conceded 3 and they trail. Corner's taken short from Harfield to Glover. Glover inside to Frost. Frost clips the ball into the back post. Harries puts his head there to try and get on it. He can't quite get there, and he just impedes the number 16 for Kidderminster, Matt Preston, and it'll be a free kick to Kidderminster. And well, from slim pickings to heady times here at Agborough for Kidderminster. 3 goals at home coming from behind. Al Baldwin.
Yeah, I've been Cian Harris's biggest admirer at times this season. He's very calm in possession. He wins most of these battles, but today he's had a bit of a stinker, to be honest. He's conceded a penalty, and there he got out jumped from what was just a hopeful cross into the 6-yard box. But you know, hopefully there's still time to come back.
That's Alan Baldwin, I'm Rob Worrell, and we're at a lively game here in Agborough, where the Shots trail now 3-2 after roaring into a first half lead of 2-0 on 25 minutes. Taken by Harfield into Scott, chests it down, and Widrington, I mean, it could have been worse for Shots, that ball in from Harries, but well, they move on. Here's Widrington in possession. I'm not sure what that was. Checks the mud on the bottom of his boots as he gets that horribly wrong. Goes all the way to Christian Dibble, and we can check in at Meadowbank for the first time in the second half. 1-0 to Dorking at half time. Gateshead down to 10 with a sending off of Regan Booty. How's it going now, Ryan Matthews?
Still 1-0 here at Meadowbank, and an early yellow card for Tony Craig, the Dorking captain, but No real pressure from either side so far. There was an early chance for Dorking within the first minute, but still 1-0, and both sides still trying to figure this out. Mamadou Jobe came on for Gateshead at half-time, the centre-back, to try and shore up the 10 men, but still no further developments. Dorking 1, Gateshead 0.
Round. Thank you very much indeed, Ryan. So still 1-0 there to Dorking, and 3-2 here to Kidderminster Harriers. We've got just what they needed on Phil Brown's first game in charge, a very generous Aldershot Town defence. As much as they've battled hard and tried, they've just been bullied by Kidderminster. That, though, was route one, wasn't it? Ball from pretty much just inside the half, really.
Just inside the Aldershot half, and it was a floated ball in, and he just rose the highest and won the ball. And
who was jumping with him? Was it Harriers?
Harriers, I think, yeah.
Stokes trying to hold the ball up. Harriers puts his foot through it. Glover heads it on, but only as far as Penny. And Penny looks to clip it into a great position on the outside, but it's well read by Maxwell Mullins, who heads it into touch before it could reach Jack Lambert. And these are really dangerous times for Aldershot, who from the dizzy heights of November and December and even the 1st of January could see their season capitulating here at Agborough. A lovely ball in from Brown to Lambert, almost a no-look pass. Here's Hemmings, he's going to try a shot from distance, and he gets that one wrong. It's high and it's wide, but whatever Aldershot's rethink was for the second half, there's no evidence of it yet, Al.
No, and it's not just Hemmings and Morgan Smith that have been impressive. Shane Byrne in the middle of the park and Zach Brown.
Lambert's been superb as well.
Yeah, they've had some good players all over the pitch.
Harries clears the ball forwards. Stokes can't touch it. Tolledge does. Finds Stokes again. He looks for Barham, but that ball forward is just clipped. Harries into the back of a Kidderminster player, possibly gets away with one there. Tolledge gets the ball and turns, and he's shrugged off of the ball by Jack Lambert. That's brilliant tracking back from Lambert. Tolledge gets another bit of contact to stop Lambert's pass finding its man, and Ollie Scott sends the ball up in the air towards Barham, who turns it inside. A lovely touch from Barham, and he plays it in looking for Tolledge. Tolledge is impeded cleverly by Penny. He literally worked out the angles there brilliantly, Penny, and he knew where Tolledge had to go, and he blocked his path, and it goes all the way through to Christian Dibble. And still it's Kidderminster Harriers who are asking the greater questions here.
Yeah, they're not sitting back, are they?
No, and here's Hemmings onto the ball on the right wing. Lovely little overlapping run from AMS. Just put them 3-2 up in the second half. There's a ball into the area, good battling from Max Mullins, shakes off his man, plays it forward up to Widrington, who holds it, turns into trouble. Lambert's got it, and Lambert sends his shot horribly high and wide, but another dangerous moment for the Shots, and at some point they as a team are going to have to come and put some heat on Kidderminster, because otherwise this is just a matter of when and how many.
Yeah, they're not strung more than 2 passes together in this half, and very rarely in the first half. The 2 they did, they got goals, so that tells you that they're just not got the cohesion today.
Here's Lambert being fed on the left side. He'll do well to keep it in down by the corner flag. He does beat his man. He runs along the byline, sends it in. Oh, it's only half cleared by Shake, thankfully to Widrington, who clears it behind for a corner. And the Shots are under all sorts of pressure here, away to the side in 24th place. Admittedly, they're rejuvenated by the new management team, and Phil Brown could be having the mother of all home debuts here as a manager. 2-0 down, 3-2 up, pushing for a 4th, and Aldershot 6s and 7s. In comes the ball, well met by Glover, who heads it clear, finds Widrington, plays it up towards Stokes, who's battling well with Byrne, and between them Kidderminster get it again, and Brown plays a ball around the corner, but that probably is too heavy. In fact, it is too heavy, but there's been a release, hasn't there? They've been freed up, Kidderminster. All the woes and the worries have gone.
No tension.
They've been told to get on the front foot and go and score goals, and at the moment it's been relatively unanswered.
They're playing with a freedom which I wasn't expecting. I thought when we went 2-0 up they'd start to go into their shells a bit, but they've come out of their shells, if anything.
Hartlepool have taken the lead at Ebbsfleet just before the hour mark there. So goals in all our National League games this afternoon. Tolaj with a good header from a throw into Widrington, who lifts the ball over the top looking for Scott, but there's a back header that will just be kept in by Christian Dibble. Not their best defensive work there, Kidderminster, but they've done enough. And the one scoreline I didn't think we'd see today, and there's still 33 minutes today, was a 3-2. Al, maybe you did, I don't know.
What, today?
I mean, no, Kidderminster have been involved in a lot of low-scoring games, and they've lost an awful lot of games by 1 goal. At the minute, they're winning this game by 1 goal. Here's good work from Ollie Scott to win it and keep it in. Makes his way down the left side, and then he's shut down by Hemmings, who came back from nowhere. And the ball's in touch, and the referee quickly says, no, don't take it from there, Stokes, otherwise it'll become a Kidderminster throw. And Aldershot, many times this season when things don't go against them, show good composure. Stokes has won a free kick here. Today they look rattled, Al. Today they look rattled to me.
Yeah, well, I think you've got to give Kidderminster credit. They've been at them from the word go. They've been tearing at them, winning the tackles, winning the headers. So I do think that you've got to give credit to Kidderminster, as badly as we've been in possession.
It's hard to believe that a team that have played as potently as Aldershot have for much of the season, especially in the last couple of months, how all of a sudden they look so devoid of the ability to keep the ball and to create chances, which, let's be honest, they've created very few today, Al, haven't they? They've been actually quite clinical with the ones they have had.
Exactly, that's what I was saying at half time. We've had 2 chances, we've got 2 goals, and we don't really deserve to have those 2 goals on the performance.
Hartlepool have announced Kevin Phillips as their new head coach. Wow. Former South Shields manager, of course. As Stokes trying to get onto ball on the left-hand side, it narrows up in the end and goes through to Dibble. He goes down, but the referee not interested. And Dibble will now kick from his hands. Tolaj is there to keep him company, helped on by a kiddie player, only as far as Widrington. He sends it forward to Barham, who's miles offside. Tolaj was as well if he'd passed to him, but the assistant referee, again, not very well positioned, but even from where he was,
guessing,
he could guess that one and not have much danger of getting it wrong. So, a quick look away to our right tells us that we're now past the hour mark here at Agborough. And, well, at the moment, Kidderminster have completed the job in all but the fact that there's the best part of 30 minutes left. They have come from 2-0 down, they lead by 3-2, and that's what Aldershot Town have to exploit now. They would have been nervous hanging on to any lead because they've won so few games.
Yeah, and if you think back to when we won 3-2 at Bromley, we were 2-0 down in a matter of 5 minutes, and we came back to win 3-2. It's a reverse of that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's happened the other way a few times this season, that's for sure, and we hoped it would happen for Aldershot last week, but 2-0 soon became 3-4, didn't it? And before we could even talk about that, here's McNally, a right back or centre back, racing down the right wing like a winger. He's got Scott for company, he's just holding the ball up. It's almost like he's playing for the corner flag with 29 minutes plus added time to go. But what he is doing, of course, is keeping possession for Kidderminster. And they have a throw in. Stokes battling away with Shane Byrne for it, but Byrne and Hemmings win out. Now Harriers comes away. Oh, he doesn't make his clearance as it looked like he should, and the ball's picked up by Lambert, and then he treads on the ball, and Frost finds Tolaj. Tolaj holds it up and then plays it out to Ryan Glover, and Glover tries a long ball all the way that might find Stokes on the left hand side. He picks the ball up, skips inside, trying to get the ball on his right foot. There wasn't a lot of room. Kidderminster got all 5 defenders out of possession back as quickly as they could, and then send it up to the far end where Jasper Sheikh toes it into touch. It's been a difficult debut for the young teenager. He's conceded 3 times. Don't think he had a lot of hope from the penalty, and probably from Ashley Hemmings' first goal. I'd need to see another angle of Amari Morgan-Smith's header. For me, he was able to win his header too easily, he was able to direct it to goal too easily, and I did, if I'm honest, expect Sheikh to go across to his right and make the save, but it was so well directed, clearly just nestling inside the far post.
I think Tommy's going to make some changes. I think Thomas and Tetek are going to come on.
Yeah, surely got to be Thomas. and I would have thought probably Tetek on for Widrington, perhaps, I don't know. Aldershot have got to take it to Kidderminster. If they keep playing the way they are, they're going down by at least 3-2, if not more. Ball's up in the air. We're going to cross back to Ryan Matthews when we can. Good header down from Tyler Frost. He's coming forward now over halfway, finds Scott. Scott goes back to Harfield. Kidderminster have done their homework of how to stop Aldershot create. Great leap there from Scott, and a good header down from Barham. And Aldershot have won a free kick over on the far side. I'm a little bit loath to go to Dorking just now because they will get a chance to send the ball in or close to the box here from this free kick. We're in the 64th minute. Update from Meadowbank to follow. Harfield over the free kick. Helped himself to another yard there while the referee's got his back turned. And he's pretty much level with Alan and I, halfway inside the Kidderminster half. A rare moment for shots coming forward. In it comes, headed away by Preston, headed back down by Kean Harries. Stokes misses a possible contact, and Kidderminster play the ball into touch. Hemmings chased it like his life depended on it. It'll be a throw into shots. Let's go over for a quick word from Ryan Matthews, who's at Dorking Wanderers against Gateshead. 1-0 when we last heard from you, Ryan. How's it going now?
It's been a bit topsy-turvy. There's been a couple of substitutions for Dorking. Alfie Rutherford and Hayden Hollis has come onto the pitch. It's swung into the box from the right-hand side, and Rutherford heads it over the bar. He's appealing for a corner, and the corner is given once more. It's really starting to ratchet up here. It's becoming a bit of a bad-tempered game. There's been yellow cards flowing, but no change to the scoreline. It's still 1-0 to Dorking here, and another chance from consecutive corners now for Dorking to try and extend that lead. Still 1-0.
1-0 to Dorking then at Meadowbank. And here we're back underway with a bit of 50-50 in the middle of the park, and Kidderminster building nicely. Out it goes to the right-hand side. Morgan Smith's got the overlap in run from, great tackle there from Ollie Scott, but I can only send it to a Kidderminster player. 1-2s. And a Kidderminster player trying to make a secondary run into the box. I think it's McNally. Has been checked, I think, by Harriers. Penalty's been given. And Kidderminster are going to have the third spot kick of the afternoon, and Aldershot Town's hopes of anything at Agborough today are hanging in the balance. Just as shots prepare the substitution of Kwame Thomas. It was a give and go. The ball was given, and as he went for the return ball, I think it was McNally coming together with Harriers, and Harriers is now getting a yellow card as well. Quick thoughts of you, Al?
Yeah, another poor challenge, and the referee's been given those all afternoon, so it's no surprise. But we are looking at, we've lost our concentration, we've lost our momentum, and
we'll get some more considered thought in a minute, but we need to get this penalty covered now. Ashley Hemmings stands 12 yards away from a hat-trick against Aldershot Town, and to put Kidderminster 4-2 up here. Up he steps, left-footed, and it's saved by Jasper Sheikh, and Aldershot Town get out of jail for now at least. Well done to the youngster. Cracking save. Aldershot looking to counter with Tyler Frost here. He's being tugged, but he gets the ball out to Barham. Barham skips in on his right foot. Aldershot momentarily the sting taken out of their attack, but Widrington finds Glover. Glover finds Tolaj. Tolaj holding it up. He's got Glover outside of him. Poor pass. Glover battles away for it, but it's been won back by Richards. Oh, great bit of skill from Lambert, and he finds his man Bellis on the left-hand side. Ball with the outside of his right foot by Zach Brown's going to go all the way through to Jasper Sheikh, who, if Aldershot Town can score again today and get at least a point out of this, has made himself a little bit of a hero on debut after a difficult start. His shots looking to play out in their own half, and eventually Mullins goes back to his keeper, and finally, Al, I can come back to you. Terrific stop, diving away to his right by Jasper Sheikh.
Yes, he went the opposite corner to the first penalty, and Jasper guessed right.
Well, here's Aldershot looking to respond themselves. Stokes to Widrington. Oh, Widrington's pass is well behind Scott. Scott does well to keep it in. And so it was Harriers on McNeely. gave away the penalty, and then Hemmings, who took it and brilliantly saved by Sheikh. And now Aldershot battling away on the left-hand side, but McNally, who I'm pretty sure is the guy who went down for the penalty, plays it forward. Oh, Harriers has gone to ground, completely missed it again, and Jasper Sheikh comes to his rescue. Just needs to clear his head. He's had a wretched afternoon as Cian Harries, but Widrington puts the ball in touch, throw into Kiddy, and Aldershot finally can make the substitution that they want to make. I wonder if they're going to go to 4 at the back. It's Max Mullins who's coming off, and Aldershot leaving the skipper Harries on, presumably for his experience, but he's had a torrid afternoon.
He has indeed. Max has not done a lot wrong, but he's obviously changing the shape. He's obviously thinking that we need to get more bodies into the middle of the field.
Aldershot have got to take it to Kidderminster now. They're 3-2 down. They've just had a let off for the penalty, and there's just no way they're getting back into this if they just keep
doing the same thing.
Just keep doing the same thing. It's the very definition of madness, and that's why Tommy Widrington wants to change things here. Defeat here, especially a heavier one, conceding lots of goals again. He's not going to go down well with the shots faithful, but they still have a chance at the moment to dig a result out here. 22 minutes gone. That's better from Harries, wins it well, finds Barham. Barham skips in between 2 Kidderminster players, sends it out to Stokes, who very, very rarely has a horrible touch there. And I think maybe he was thinking about the next thing he was going to do before he got the ball under control. And he started off so well today, Stokes. He really looked key, didn't he? Of course, Tolaj making both the first 2 goals, one with a pass, the other one by winning a penalty. And
I'm just trying to look at the shape we've got now. Obviously with Thomas up front alongside Barham, it looks like it's a 4-4-2 at the moment.
Another good win by Morgan Smith, and then Harfield just a little shove, and it'll be a free kick to Kidderminster over on the far side, level with the edge of the penalty area. And Kidderminster's management team are just trying to work out what shape Aldershot Town have gone to as well. And I mean, at the moment they're out of possession, so everybody but Jack Barham's back behind the ball. But my goodness me, Aldershot Town are living dangerously here, having had the relatively comfortable position of being 2-0 up after 25 minutes. Now they're 3-2 down. It could and should be 4-2. In comes the free kick from Hemmings, and it's past everybody through the corridor of uncertainty and behind the goal for a goal kick to the shots. Bromley have gone 2-1 up against Boreham Wood, and no, it's not Michael Cheek, it's the prolific, or rather not so, Callum Reynolds, the former Shots skipper. That's a rarity these days, a Callum Reynolds goal. But here, Aldershot desperate. Oh, that's a confusion between Frost and Glover, but Harries does well. He's done well a couple of times lately. Glover's being fouled from behind, and eventually the free kick is given. And
they're living up to their name, the Harry, and every Aldershot player when they're in possession. They're not giving them a minute's peace, and it's paying off.
Yeah, headline could be Harry's Harried, couldn't it?
By Harriers.
Free kick taken by Shots up towards Josh Stokes. Can't get it under. Byrne can only find Frost. Frost plays it out to the right hand side looking for Caleb Richards. He's under pressure from Barham, who toes it into touch right in front of Al and myself, halfway inside the Kidderminster half here. Aldershot Town have to stay in this game. They have to take it to the wire. I think the number 2 Penny might have to go down and get treatment here. He's just feeling his ankles, and he does sit down, and he waited as long as he could to sit down before the throw was taken, and that is when you know that he's being a little bit clever as well. But yeah, Kidderminster took an age to take the throw, and then he went down, and you can't blame Kidderminster for that. We're not going to have a go at them for game management. They've not found themselves in enough leads this season. But Aldershot might have changed personnel, and they might have changed shape, but they've seen so little of the ball that we can't even tell what it is yet.
No, I think the shape has been all over the place this last 2 weeks.
Thomas is definitely up front with Barham, and Tolaj has dropped a bit deeper, but I can't quite see. I mean, they must have surely gone to a 4 now, with just Harries and Harfield, the centre-backs. But this has not been good enough from the shots. They had the perfect start, the perfect response that they needed to show, bouncing back from that wretched FA Trophy defeat last weekend, but they couldn't see it through. In fairness, when they got the 2 goals in the first half, they were already under pressure from a rejuvenated Kidderminster side. And when you look at the stats coming into this, no win in 5 for Harriers, just 1 win in 13. They are the classic stats of teams coming up against Aldershot on the end of horrible runs, aren't they, Al? We've seen it too many times over the years.
Yeah, unfortunately. Everything was going well, 2-0, but we were under pressure even though we were 2-0 up. So,
and they're patterns that go back a long way before this management team were in place, but Shots fans will just tell you it's a very Aldershot thing. Here's Harriers, he's going to kick through the ball here, he's a little bit under it, it's got a bit of backspin, it's not even going to get out of his half. Widrington does well to make contact and help it on. And Thomas manages to steer it into the path of Barham, who looks for Tolaj, but there's no weight on his pass. It's played forward, and Murray Morgan-Smith flicks it on to Bellis, and Harfield does really well to read the return pass. Otherwise, AMS, the number 9, would have been through on goal for potentially a second goal for him. Still Penny's limping around here on the touchline, but wants to come back on. Header won by Caleb Richards, finds Zach Brown. He goes down without any contact at all. Stokes then goes in, wins the ball, tries a back heel, gets a bit of contact and wins a free kick, and he's probably a little bit fortunate to win that. He just tried something there and the referee bought it, and the referee's bought plenty all afternoon. He's had his wallet out for all sorts, hasn't he? Including an Aldershot Town penalty that Kidderminster will dispute.
It looks like Zach Brown is in a little bit of discomfort, but he's got up and running.
It was his own fall, wasn't it? There was no contact. Aldershot have the free kick. Frost and Harfield are over it. 2 men. It's just 5 yards in from the touchline, pretty close to Al and myself. A high defensive line from Kidderminster Harriers. They're on the edge of the box. A couple of Aldershot players maybe just offside. They need to step back, and Harfield it is that's going to send it in, and the referee spots an infringement. And what a waste of a set piece for Aldershot there. Referee just stopping it as soon as it's struck. And now we're going to see a substitution for Kidderminster Harriers, who are going to bring on their number 5, Christian Pearce, who's a wily customer at this level. Played an awful lot of football at this league and a level and much higher too. In fact, it's going to be a double substitution. And they're also going to bring on the number 27, Gold Omateo. And here's the irony in this one. This time last year, he was playing for Tommy Widrington at Kings Lynn. He was at Fylde when Aldershot played up there and came on as a substitute along with Nick Horton. And they put the fear of God up Aldershot, who managed to get the job done clinically on the day. But now he comes on with a second chance to score against the Widrington side this season. So going off for Kidderminster is Alex Penny and I think, was it Preston, the other one that came off?
No, it's
Clears for Penny and Bellis.
Thank you very much. Omateo comes on for
Amari Morgan-Smith. I think.
No.
Oh, I thought I saw the number 9 held up. Oh.
No, there's no way that guy's coming off today. He's helped on again this time in a challenge with Amari Morgan-Smith by Harfield inadvertently, and it's cleared. And now, here comes Kidderminster with another shot. Deflection off of a Kidderminster player. The shot came in from Lambert, and ironically for Kidderminster, the deflection took it away from goal. I think Lambert's initial effort, Al, was probably onside. And what's the referee? Who's he booked here?
I think Theo, is it?
Is it Theo or Frost? Theo was a lot further away than Frost, but I think it might have been Frost for dissent. We'll have to see. Aldershot play it forward. Frost send it back. Frost wins it. Now Kwame Thomas gets it down, sends it out to the left-hand side. It's a underweighted pass. It's been picked up by Ashley Hemmings. He's running straight towards goal. He's going to shoot now. It's a good save, but it's followed up by Amari Morgan-Smith. And Kidderminster do lead by 4 goals to 2 with 13 minutes left, and Hemmings still can't get his hat-trick, but he won't care because his strike partner Amari Morgan-Smith followed up what was a decent save from Sheikh, and it was Golden Mateo, I beg your pardon, following up, and he has scored against Tommy Widrington in the 77th minute. Kidderminster Harriers 4, Aldershot Town 2.
Again, architect of our own downfall there. Kwame Thomas gave the ball away on halfway, and Hemmings sprinted through a big gap, had a shot with his left foot. It wasn't firmly struck, but it was going for the corner, and Jasper Sheep pushed it to one side. Unfortunately, Mateo was there quickest to react and just slide it into an empty net.
And Golden Mateo, who came on and couldn't score earlier in the season for Fylde against Widrington, has done so within the first couple of minutes today. And all of a sudden, Agbra has been ignited. Shots are going to make another substitution. Aaron Jones is going to come on. But it's turning out to be a horrible afternoon for the Shots here in Kidderminster. Another 4 goals conceded. And I have to ask you to question, Al, in a minute. We're going to go and get an update from Dorking. Aldershot have got an attacking throw, so we'll just wait a little bit from that. But what I want to ask you in a minute, Al, when we come back and we get a moment, have Aldershot Town been found out? The teams just know how to just keep picking them off. Because even a side who struggle for goals like Kidderminster have hit 4 this afternoon, and in truth it could have been 5 or 6. Aldershot take the throw and go backwards with it. Harriers plays the ball through the middle. It finds Widrington, helped on by Kidderminster player only to Tolaj. Tolaj plays it inside to Stokes, tries a shot from distance. That deflects off a Kidderminster player, and they will keep it in through Richards down by their own corner flag and clear it forward up towards Omateo. But here's Tolaj, and no break in the action here. Oh, another poorly weighted pass, this time from Tolaj, and again it's picked off by Hemmings. And this time Ollie Scott recovers, but he can't get there in time. And listen to the noise here at Agbra from the Kidderminster faithful. And let's go while Aaron Jones comes on for Shots. We'll give you the details on who goes off in a minute. It's Tyler Frost, I'll tell you now. Let's go to Ryan Matthews at Meadowbank, Dorking against Gateshead.
Taylor with the ball. Still 1-0 here at Meadowbank, but the 11 men of Dorking are really trying hard to push through, and it's a undercooked back pass that's been rescued by Harrison Mail here. They're not looking like the side that has 11 men, truth be told, this Dorking side, and they've been let off a couple of times by wasteful attacking by Gateshead, but still holding on to their 1-0 lead as we approach the final 10 minutes here at Meadowbank.
Now, thank you very much indeed, Ryan. Good headed winner from Kwame Thomas, gets Barham away down the left hand side, skips back onto his right foot, comes back to Widrington. He toes it into the path of Ollie Scott. Scott back to Barham. Barham keeps it in. Now he's running inside towards the penalty. Sends a ball in. Tolaj, oh, he does get his head on it, goes behind. It will be a goal kick. Confusion between the centre back and the goalkeeper. Tolaj gets his head on it, but he couldn't direct it towards goal. Finally a chance for you to come in, Al, before I update our listeners on the Tunbridge and Worthing game.
Jack Barham, who's been very quiet today, got the ball on the left hand side, cut inside. He dinked a little ball onto the penalty spot. Tolaj reads back to goal, and the keeper coming out got too much contact on it. It needed just to be a slight deflection.
Another flick on by Morgan Smith. He's won everything in the air today. Here's Glover battling away, and he finds Tolaj. Tolaj goes back to Aaron Jones. He plays it forward. Route 1. Thomas battling for it. Manages to head it down in the vicinity of Tolaj and Stokes, but Kidderminster win it again, and they're on a high now of a team that's suddenly fueled by confidence. Come from 2-0 down to 4-2 up. Ball played forward. Jasper Sheikh comes off his line. And finally, I can tell you that at Tunbridge Angels, Worthing, who have dominated since half-time, have taken the lead. Ollie Pearce pouncing from close range just before the hour mark. Here, Kidderminster are pouncing aplenty. Acrobatically cleared over his head there by Matt Preston. He can only find Harfield to Widrington. The Shots, who had a 2-goal lead, are now 2 goals behind in the 82nd minute. Here's Stokes receiving the ball on the left-hand side, getting towards the byline. Thinks about the cross, sends it in off of a Kidderminster player, and the shots have got themselves a corner. And we're scratching around really here now, Al, but Aldershot are going to have to score pretty damn soon and hope that they can nick something else in the final 8 minutes.
I think that's a forlorn hope. They never looked like that last header by Tolaj was the nearest they'd come since the penalty. And anyway, here we are on the attack.
Good cross in deep from the left-hand side, and it's headed behind the goal by Christian Pearce, taking no chances whatsoever there. And the thing is, even if this went late on at 3-2 to Kidderminster, you'd understand they'd be a bit nervy, but they've got the 2-goal cushion now. And again, the referee's looking at some contact in the penalty area, and Aldershot Town need to let this set piece come in without pushing and pulling and giving away. The referee, I'm telling you, is ready for it. As soon as he sees anything, half field, sends the cross in, headed away by Pearce, up towards Lambert. Good battle in the air. Stokes gets something on it, finds Glover, sends it out to the right hand side. Stokes lifts it in, looking for Widrington. He can't control it inside the penalty area. Kidderminster come away with it again with that man Hemmings. Hemmings brushes off Aaron Jones easily. He's away down the left hand side. He's heading for the corner. I thought he'd be dangerous against Aldershot today, and he's had a brilliant afternoon. Manages to get his cross in, held up, missed by almost everybody, including Morgan Smith and Harfield, who gets to the second ball well. It's one in the air by McNeely, and Tolaj battling away with him, brings him down. And Aldershot Town, as Kidderminster are going to make another substitution here, and there's been a bit of reaction to Tolaj's foul. The free kick was given to Kidderminster, and I didn't see quite what happened, Al. I'm hoping you were looking at it. What happened?
I was looking at the bench, actually, because there's another sub coming on. I think Tolaj made the foul, but I didn't see what the reaction was afterwards. I was looking in the opposite direction.
Okay, let's see what the referee decides. The afternoon's bad enough for Aldershot without being reduced to 10 men as well. It was a relatively straightforward free kick, a little pull from Tolaj. Now, is the referee going to settle for just a word with both players here, or is he going to get the cards out? Yellow, yellow. Tolaj is shown yellow, and so is I think Matt Preston for Kidderminster. And well, that won't help Aldershot Town's cause because it's just allowed a longer stoppage in play. Kidderminster are going to make their third substitution of the afternoon. Lambert coming off, and coming on now is Kai Lissimore, the number 18. And for me, Al, I mean, there's a lot of analysis needs doing on the problems with the number of goals that Aldershot Town are conceding, and they go right across the pitch, don't they? But for me, they've been, ironically, when they had a makeshift midfield two of Frost and Willard, that was when they were doing their best results. And more recently, O'Keefe's come back in, Widrington's come back in, and that's the changes that have happened. But obviously there's a massive loss of confidence as well, and they're conceding way too many and not scoring enough.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, I thought last week was we couldn't get any lower, but today I think was...
Tonight's official match attendance is 3,089. That's
3,089 here.
284 travelling supporters.
284 Shots fans. Slightly lower than we guessed, but we did think about 350. It's always difficult to tell whether they're in two different areas. They won't be a very happy 284, will they now? 285, including yourself, Al.
We've had no shape, we've had no cohesion, we've had no attacking threat. We've got 2 goals, but that's about it. I just don't understand where it's all gone wrong. I think Tommy's got to look long and hard at the shape and the defence in particular. We've given away so many goals.
First half an hour goals from Josh Stokes, his 16th of the season, and from Cian Harriers from the penalty spot. Gave the Shots that lead, precious 2-goal away lead, but they've been picked off many times since, and Kidderminster have struck 4 times. And they're holding the ball up by the corner flag, and they've done brilliantly there to win a corner And I think the only real matter that, unless it's been announced and I missed it, is who's going to be the man of the match this afternoon. It's either Morgan Smith or Hemmings. They've both been superb.
Yeah, and there's quite a few others actually. I think, you know, Lambert and Brown.
Hemmings for me.
And Byrne, you know, they've all played well.
Corner comes in. And like 4 or 5 crosses and corners and free kicks today, inexplicably, despite being a good looking ball, everybody's missed it from both sides. And it curls away behind the goal, away to our left. And Aldershot have a goal kick, and things are starting to look rather desperate now. 4-2 down, 88 minutes gone. Only a couple of late strikes and maybe some generous minutes added on can come to Aldershot Town's rescue now. Stokes battles away for the ball there. Save it going behind for a goal kick. Kidderminster clear it to touch. And throw in taken by Harfield. Thomas nowhere near to flicking it on. Smashed forward by Pearce. Harry's battling away with Morgan Smith, who 6 of one, half a dozen of the other on this occasion. In fact, it was on that occasion gold on Matteo. Smith has just dropped. Morgan Smith has dropped more to the right side of the attack now. The official man of the match.
Number 11, Jack Lambert.
Wow, staggeringly it's gone to Jack Lambert. I mean, I guess Ashley Hemmings, if you want to get a man of the match, you've got to put your penalty away as well.
I think that would have settled it for him.
Yeah, absolutely. But he certainly rifled in the shot that Gold on Matteo followed up and put Kidderminster Harriers 4-2 up. And somebody do the maths, it's something like 25 goals conceded in 5 games for Aldershot Town. You can't win matches and you can't make playoffs if you're conceding that many goals.
No,
you can't.
It's been shocking defending, shocking in the physical battles, because we haven't won. Well, we've won the occasional battles, had the first 2 goals, but where it mattered at the business end, we've lost the battles.
Now Bromley actually scored a third against Boreham Wood, but it was disallowed, so it remained 2-1. And in the 88th minute, Billy Sass-Davis has put Boreham Wood level. It's now 2-2 there. We're going to have 6 minutes. There's a hush goes around the ground because it's done for the Harriers fans. 2-0 down, 4-2 up, just blow the whistle. They want to get on with their celebrations, but they'll have to wait at least 6 more minutes for that. Their game management's been excellent in the last 5 minutes or so. Aldershot can't get anything going at all, and they've run down by the corner flag another corner, which my man of the match, Ashley Hemmings, is going to take.
Yeah, I think he was the initial threat down this right-hand side.
Corner
got
comes
the first
in.
2 goals, and without those 2 goals, it might have been a different story. So, to be honest, yes, Hemmings has been the best player on the pitch.
Here is Kidderminster coming forward with McNally, finds Hemmings, another cross comes in, a little bit of a deflection on it, and a really good reaction save there actually from Jasper Shake, as Kidderminster effort came in at the near post. It then deflected off an Aldershot Town player slightly, and I think Shake just pushed it around the post to make sure. You'll never forget his first ever start for Aldershot Town, sadly mostly for the wrong reasons, in that he's conceded 4 goals. Corner's taken in as a poor one. It's cleared away at the near post by Harfield, but it'll only find touch. And the only things that need to be decided is when this game finishes and whether the final scoreline is 4-2 or more, because Aldershot can't score if they're permanently camped in their own half under pressure.
And they hold the ball up well, do Kidderminster.
Take nothing away from the Harriers today. They've been superb, and they even managed to recover their composure despite going 2 goals down early on. They were playing well then, to be fair. Sorry? And
missing the penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. It's plaudits all round, and a little bit of revenge for Barham foul over on the far side. Free kick to Kidderminster in their own half. It'll be a sweet tasting day for Gold on Matteo, scoring against Widrington, and a sweet afternoon for Dean Holsworth, the former Aldershot Town manager. who's the director of football here at Kidderminster, who made the decision to relieve previous manager Russ Penn of his duties. And his first game in charge has resulted in a home victory here for the Harriers, which will be confirmed in the next 3 or 4 minutes. Shots player fouled inside his own half. Free kick to Aldershot. Referee goes over to see if that player needs some attention. That player is Cian Harries, who other than his penalty goal today has had a bit of a torrid afternoon, and you know, it's been very difficult marking Amari Morgan Smith, and you know, along with Harfield and Scott trying to stop Ashley Hemmings as well. Tolaj waiting for a cross here, rather hopefully. He's in a slightly offside position. Ball's played down the left side to Stokes. He's one-on-one against his man, rolls it in looking for Tolaj, gets it under control, but he's running away from goal, holds it up, comes back to Glover. Glover squares it to Widrington. Widrington goes backwards to Harries. Harries comes forward with the ball and then sends it out left to Harries, Harfield. Harfield clips in a little cross. Thomas jumps, no foul given. Stokes heads it into the path of Ollie Scott, but it's nicked by a Kidderminster player. Harfield should get onto this loose ball and goes back to Jasper Shea. Saved a penalty on his full debut but conceded 4 times. Big leap from Widrington's a good one, wins the ball. Held up by Preston, headed back in again by Widrington, up towards Thomas, who gets contact, loses it. And the referee wasn't going to give the free kick. Tolaj then has the chance to bear down on goal and have a shot, and the ref brings it back for the free kick. And that is some stinking refereeing from Stephen Copeland there, who hasn't had a bad game overall this afternoon.
No, but it sums up Aldershot's afternoon.
The way things have gone, haven't they, for the shots, yeah. He wasn't given that free kick, there's no question at all. And then Tolaj got away with the ball on his left foot, going towards the penalty area, and he stopped it for the free kick. And Tolaj is now asking the referee, and he'll have to ask him nicely, because he has already been yellow carded this afternoon, and he just needs to wind it in a little bit, Laurent Tolaj. He's understandably asking why the advantage wasn't played if it was a free kick, but Kwame Thomas is still down. He's a big man, he doesn't go down easily, and he knows his side are 2 goals down, so he clearly is a little bit groggy there, and we'll need the all clear from the doctor. We're in the 90 the physio, sorry, we're in the 96th minute now. It should be the final one, I doubt it will be. A reminder that after we've wrapped up here, George will take you across to Meadowbank to see if Dorking can hold out for the win there against 10 men at Gateshead. Phil Brown gives the Kidderminster Harrier supporters a wave, daring to believe his side should hang on for the win here. Kwame Thomas comes across to the touchline holding his stomach area, and Aldershot will have a free kick. Stokes seems to have got first dibs on taking this, but we're into added time at the end of added time. Shots 4-2 down. Stokes steps up and puts his free kick over the bar. Ironic cheers. Christian Dibble extends his run across his goal to way beyond it, and now starts a slow trot back. We're done and dusted pretty much here, Al. I'll get you to sum up on the full-time whistle. Just a minute or so if you can before we head back to George. Please include your Aldershot Town man of the match this afternoon in that. And here as Dibble prepares to take this goal kick, the sorry looking scoreline for Aldershot fans of Kidderminster Harriers 4, Aldershot 2. Widrington Junks can't win it cleanly. It's flicked on by that man Morgan Smith, cleared, huge clearance by Cian Harries, the biggest one of the day, and it'll go all the way through, and Dibble finally takes a touch, finds Pearce, who sends it down the left hand side, and there is the final whistle. Standing ovation from all 4 corners, or 3 of them anyway, at Kidderminster, and a lot of the Aldershot Town fans troop away, some of them not even waiting to get the thanks of the Shots faithful this afternoon. Final score, Kidderminster Harriers 4, Aldershot 2. Alan Baldwin.
From the first minute to the 96th minute, Kidderminster were the better side. We were lucky to get 2 goals early on. from breakaways. But Kidderminster never gave up hope, they still had the heart for the battle. They won all the battles and they came back to 2-2 at half time, even missed a penalty and got 2 more goals in the second half. So full credit to Kidderminster, a very good win. I'm not sure how much Aldershot contributed to that win because they were poor today, like last week.
Well, there you go, George. 6 more goals and a penalty save. But yeah, 2/3 of them in the wrong net as far as Aldershot Town, Tommy Widrington and the Shots Red and Blue faithful, 284 of them are concerned. 2 goals in the right end, another 4 shipped, and Aldershot miss out on an opportunity to rise back into the playoff positions. That's it from us here at Agborough this afternoon. Post-match to come from Tommy Widrington. Final score, Harriers 4, Town 2.
Thank you very much to Rob Worrell for us, who's been live at the Aldershot game all afternoon. We're going to recap everything that's happened locally and nationally as well in the sporting world in the final whistle that kicks off in just over 1 minute's time. So obviously today there was one game postponed in League 2 for the local area, Crawley Town. They were supposed to be playing AFC Wimbledon, but that was called off due to a frozen pitch. But elsewhere in League 1, so listen out for this, Crawley Town fans, and how this affects you. Barrow lost 3-1 at home to Crewe Alexandra. Gillingham drew 1-1 with Forest Green Rovers. Milton Keynes Dons lost 2-1 to Morecambe at home, and Newport County are 1-0 up against Wrexham in that league. We're going to run through all the local National League scores in just a moment, but there weren't many games on in the National League. Elsewhere, Bromley 2, Borehamwood 2, Dorking Wanderers, we'll come on to that shortly. Ebbsfleet lost 1-0 at home to Hartlepool, and yes, we all know what happened with Aldershot today, and we will come on to that one in just a moment. Many games called off in the National League South as well. Aveley drew 2-2 with Chippenham Town elsewhere. Havant Waterlooville lost 2-1 to Weston-super-Mare. Slough Town are currently 2-1 up in the 89th minute against Maidstone. We'll talk about the Worthing game later on. Torquay beat Dover Athletic 1-0, and Yeovil beat Hemel Hempstead 2-0. So we'll come on to that in just a moment and everything that happened, but let's kick off.
All the reaction from the big match. This is the final whistle.
Yeah, so it's 5 o'clock then. Welcome to the final whistle here on BBC Sussex and BBC Surrey as we round up all the big local and national sporting stories of the day. Now, despite games being called off all over the country due to the weather we've had recently, we were lucky enough to still bring you 3 featured games this afternoon. Now, first up, things were looking good for the Shots early on.
Ollie Scott battles away, wins the ball fairly, prods it into Tollage, who's not offside, squares it in, Stokes, goal! 1-0 to the Shots. They're back at it again here at Agborough in just the 6th minute, and finally paired together again. Tollage and Stokes team up beautifully.
They found themselves 2-0 up at one point against Kidderminster Harriers, but the smiles were short-lived.
Now Kwame Thomas gets it down, sends it out to the left-hand side. It's a underweighted pass. It's been picked up by Ashley Hemmings. He's running straight towards goal. He's going to shoot now. It's a good save, but it's followed up by Amari Morgan-Smith, and Kidderminster do lead by 4 goals to 2.
And that's how the game finished, 4-2 to Kidderminster. Now, despite the disappointing result this afternoon, the Shots still find themselves 1 point off the playoffs, exactly the same position they were in before the game began. Now, on a more positive note, Dorking managed to put some daylight between themselves and the relegation zone after beating 10-man Gateshead.
Taylor trying to find some space for the shot, plays it across for Carter on the left-hand side of the 18-yard box. Left-footed strike, and it's crept in at the near post. A lovely strike from Charlie Carter. The numbers counted there. He found himself free on this near side to left. It was a fierce left-footed strike that was too hot to handle.
Yes, it finished 1-0 to the Wanderers at Meadowbank, who now find themselves 4 points clear of the drop. And Worthing cling on to second position in the National League South after an important 1-0 away win against Tonbridge Angels. Coming up then, reaction to all our local matches and the full roundup as well of the rest of that sporting action. And that's all before BBC Upload from 6 o'clock with Leo Wolf.
The sound. The sound. The sound. The sound of Surrey. And all the music. The music you love. The music you love. BBC Radio Surrey.
Yes, and now we're going to head to Meadowbank. We are going to get the thoughts on the final whistle then from Bob Papworth and Ryan Matthews. Dorking were 1-0 up the last time we checked in. It did finish that way. Ryan, how's your afternoon been?
It was a particularly feisty affair here in the second half. Not one that had a great deal of quality, truth be told, from either side attacking, but Dorking made particularly hard work of it, didn't they, Bob?
They did indeed, yeah. They kind of scraped to a 1-0 victory, which obviously Mark White, the manager, will be pleased about, particularly bearing in mind their 5-0 drubbing last weekend against Macclesfield in the FA Trophy, and also bearing in mind they lost 6-0 to Gateshead in reverse before Christmas. So certainly he'll be pleased. It's 3 points that they've got that will move them away from the relegation zone, which for them is the most important thing. Bearing in mind Dorking Wanderers are one of the when it comes to the budgets, one of the don't have the budget, should I say, as those of Chesterfield and the likes of Eastleigh and everyone else at the top of the league. But yeah, a very feisty affair. Certainly the sending off, I think, dictated how the rest of the game went, and in some ways Dorking could have increased their scoreline had it not been for Ed Beach, the Gateshead keeper.
He was absolutely fantastic. The Chelsea loanee producing what you said was the save of the game, and I tend to agree. It was a stunning save from a strike from Jimmy Mewett, who was trying to make the game safe late on in the game. But yeah, it was a game that Dorking will be happy to win, and they control for large parts, but a game that really did hinge on that red card. A really important 3 points though for Dorking. It did finish here at Meadowbank 1-0.
Thank you very much. So a decent afternoon for Dorking in the end, one of our local sides that did earn 3 points. It's George Wedlake here with you for the final whistle after a big afternoon of Saturday sport. So locally then, we still had 3 games to bring you this afternoon. Earlier on, we did bring you full commentary of Kidderminster's 4-2 victory over local side Aldershot. It didn't end, it wasn't all bad for Aldershot. They went 2-0 up, but sadly couldn't hold off Kidderminster come the end. And Phil Brown off to a winning start there with his first game in charge of Kidderminster. Elsewhere in the National League, as we said earlier, Dorking are now 4 points clear of the relegation zone. They had a 1-0 victory at home to Gateshead at Meadowbank. We checked in with Ryan not too long ago, and yeah, we've had full time from there. We are also going to get to you what's happening as well with Worthing. They had a 1-0 away win at Tonbridge Angels. They're still clinging on to second place in the National League South. So we are going to be getting the thoughts on the final whistle from Kevin Anderson, who's been there watching the whole game for us this afternoon. But right now, we are throwing ahead to tomorrow. Albion's women return to WSL action after a month's winter break tomorrow. Now, they won last weekend's FA Cup tie at Luton Town Ladies. They now host a Bristol City side who are just 3 points below them in the one relegation spot. It's a huge game tomorrow in the WSL. And we recently caught up with Melissa Phillips. Another favourable FA Cup draw away to a lower league Wolves in round 5, and that cup win at Luton. It was all discussed.
There's obviously a significant gap in level. I think our girls went out and put on a very professional and respectful performance and got a lot out of the game from an in-possession standpoint of relationships that we wanted to build, and yeah, a lot of different goal scorers, a clean sheet, which would be the expectation, and into the next round, which we're really pleased about and look forward to the challenge that Wolves will bring in a few weeks' time.
I'm sure, but you won't take them for granted, I'm sure.
No, absolutely not. They've been top contenders in their league over the last few seasons and will always relish the challenge of playing a WSL side, so we look forward to it.
We've discussed it before. It's nice, as you say, to have other goal scorers. Elizabeth doing so well this season. 2 goals for Tatiana, really good for her confidence and the options you have going forward, especially into a big game at the weekend.
Yeah, I think Tatiana is such a creative and dynamic player. I think when we've seen her throughout league or cup matches throughout the first half of the season, she's really had the ability to open up teams with her movement off the ball. And you see that with the type of runs that she selected to get in behind and where she scored her first goal from. And then Obviously, her second goal comes from a header on a corner, so a variety of different ways that she can create for the team, and I think you see that with the goals throughout. You get Vicky scoring a goal from a header as well. I think Pauline hit both posts in the crossbar and knocked on the frame of the goal quite a bit, and Pauline's itching to convert more in front of goal as well. So yeah, really pleased for the group. I think, like I said, it was a professional performance, and on to the next.
Bristol City, the side in the one relegation place at the bottom. Quite simply a huge chance for you as a side to create some space between them and the sides below you. How much is that a factor in what you've said to them this week, or is it about the process? How have you gone about it this weekend?
So I think, over the past 3 weeks and coming back in off the winter break, we've really treated it as an opportunity to reconfirm and reestablish what we're doing, and we've maybe dialed back the evolution of our team a little bit in terms of multiple formations and how we're trying to play, and really just focused on in possession relationships and being sharp with the ball and making sure that our key actions out of possession to hunt things down, to be organised quickly are there. So we don't negate the importance of the game. The focus has certainly always been on the process, about us being sharp and clinical with the areas that we want to go and attack on the weekend. But we know it's a huge 3-point swing in the table. Our group is at our best when we feel there's no pressure on the game, and that's how we've gone about it in terms of business as usual and preparing accordingly through the week.
And what about them? I mean, you look at someone and say they're bottom of the table, they're the worst in the league. How have you seen the way they play, how good they are, their potential, and how difficult they will be coming to Crawley on Sunday?
The thing about Bristol is they've got a very clear way about how they've gone about their business and play, and they've grown throughout that in the first half of the season and built belief and got results towards the latter end of games before Christmas. They've had a real clarity about making it difficult on teams to score, being exceptional inside their box, and being one of the top teams in terms of converted chances on target when they do attack, and they attack it with pace to goal. So we've prepared as we do every game and know the threats that we'll have to manage in that way, and make sure that where we take risks are very calculated to prevent some of those opportunities.
Just on, obviously it's that time of month, transfer window, no incomings yet at Brighton. Can we expect any before the end of the month?
You can, yeah. I think the January window is always a window that we really have to get things right. Where we're at in our building phase and the progress that we've made, it's not about just adding a handful and a number of names. It's about adding the right fit that we know is going to come in and impact the team, and we're looking to do that in a couple of ways.
And you can hear full live online commentary on Albion Women versus Bristol City, 2 p.m. tomorrow. That will start for you. In the Championship, Lewis Women continue their battle to stay up with a home game against Durham Women at midday, and they've announced the signing of Scottish left-back Lois Hooken, following the 27-year-old's contract ending at the London City Lionesses. It's George Wedlake with you. It's the final whistle, BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey. So we're going to now get some full-time thoughts then in our third featured game of the day. So earlier on, we've already talked to you through Aldershot's 4-2 defeat to Kidderminster and Dorking's 1-0 victory against Gateshead. But now we go to Kevin Anderson at Longmead Stadium. He was there for us. Worthing won away at Tonbridge Angels 1-0. Let's get the thoughts now. Here's Kevin.
A final whistle here at Longmead. Well, a crucial 3 points for Worthing that keeps them in second place at least and chasing on the heels of the runaway leaders, Yeovil Town. 1-0 it finished. Very even first half, in fairness. The home side, Tonbridge Angels, pressed and they were athletic, and they almost opened the scoring just before half-time, but a superb save from Josh Jeffries kept them out. And Worthing upped their game in the second half, in fact. They played well in the first half, just edged it probably. But in the second half, the first 15 minutes of the second half, they absolutely piled it on, and Tonbridge didn't really know what hit them. And it was just after the hour mark that their talisman and top scorer, Ollie Pearce, pounced from close range after a slick right-wing move, and that was the only goal. It was just the only goal, because 10 minutes from the end, the home side
were awarded a penalty, a trip in the penalty area, and it was whacked way over the bar from the 12-yard spot. So even good fortune was on Worthing's side this afternoon. Not that they needed it particularly. A consummate team performance from Adam Hinshelwood's side, and on the Rebels' march.
On the Rebels' march, indeed. Thank you very much for that update, Kevin. So full-time then, it finished Tonbridge Angels 0, Worthing 1. A good victory there. That makes sure Worthing still stays second in the National League South.